So I'm Neil, and we are currently live streaming down here in Chip's basement, otherwise known as the Happy Gorilla Game Studio headquarters, I guess, Chip? Is that right?
That's right. Sorry, I am sharing the link / manning the camera. We'll be there in just a second.
So what you see laid out before me is our prototype of War for Indagar. We actually just got it fresh back from one of our reviewers that we sent it off to. And we're hopefully going to sit down and play a two-player game. This is our two-player board setup. So depending on the number of players that you have for War for Indagar, depends on how many tiles you end up with on the board. When you look in the rule book, it tells you how many of what type of resource tiles you need to build a board, and it also tells you how many random event tiles to put in. The random event tiles can be anything from our wacky maelstrom to maybe you discover abandoned outposts and things like that. So those are all scattered here underneath our fog of war, and Chip and I are set up. Today I'm going to be playing the Great Forest Tribes, which is these green guys right down here, and I've selected Golem as my commander. I'm going to give it a shot with her command ability, and Chip is going to be playing Ramal Nation, so he's the red right back here, and we are fully deployed. Got our giant cards out, and got our resources together, and we are getting ready to sit down and play. So if you have any questions,
I'm back.
There he is.
All right.
Chip, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Chip. I'm one of the designers for War for Indagar. Super excited to be playing the game tonight. We are live on Facebook and Kickstarter. We'll be checking out for any questions people have. If you're interested in the game, you want to know more, stop us at any time. We'd love to explain more about what we're doing, about how the game is played. And so far, $5,000. Appreciate all your help. Really excited.
Cool. So we're going to be back and forth between the computer, looking for anybody that has any questions. If you want to know anything about the game, just hit us up on the live chat. I think we have the live chat up over there.
Yep.
Chip's kind of in charge of that. I can't see very well, so I don't know what's going on over there. But
if you notice me looking that direction, it's because the computer is over there, and we will be looking back there for any questions you guys have.
So if you want to go over some of the game components, when we actually build the board, so for a two-player board, it's a lot smaller, so you end up with a lot of extra tiles, and all of these tiles would get used to build a four-player board. So when we actually went through, I just got rid of the tiles that we're not going to be using in the game, but these are our game tiles. This is just a blank tile. We have resources like our forest and gold tile, stuff like that. And the whole point of this game is we're going to be fighting over the spirit well, which you see right here in the center of the board. And the whole goal is to gain primacy over the battlefield. So we earn primacy in a couple ways, about 5 actually.
Yep.
The first one is we get a primacy point anytime we kill the other guy's commander. We also gain primacy. We can mine spirit out of the spirit well and trade that in for primacy. Other ways we can gain primacy is on these giant strategy cards, and I'll actually open up let's show the strategy cards so they can see how big these things are. They're actually really cool. These are very big cards. These both double as a game piece with your strategies down here based on your faction, but they also double as a playing area. So you have a place to put your hero cards, which we have set up down here. Keep your resources in a stockpile and stuff like that. So these cards are quite big. I think they're about 18 inches.
Yep, 9 by 18.
9 by 18, so they're actually really big. They're very cool.
Yep.
And there's one for each one of the 4 factions that's in the game. So we will be getting started here momentarily. We've got the scoreboard set up over here. Again, as I said, first to 10 points, and I was talking about how you gain points. And one of the other ways you can gain points is every single faction has at least something on their strategy card that will help them generate points. Another way you earn points is by building outposts. So we both start the game with a level 2 outpost on this gold mine back here in our little deployment area. And every time we build an outpost on the table, regardless of what level it is, it's always worth 1 primacy point. The dangerous thing about outposts is outposts can be captured or destroyed by your opponent, so they're not a permanent primacy point, so you kind of have to defend them. The last way, what did I cover 4 of them? What am I missing? What's the 5th one on the primacy?
Strategies.
Let's talk about strategies, talk about spirit, talk about killing commanders, talk about building outposts, leveling up heroes. So I knew it would come to me. So you also level up heroes in this game, and these heroes are the characters that we have out. And every time they win a combat, or even win on the defensive side of a combat, they gain experience points. And if they send an enemy hero into retreat or an enemy monster into retreat, they also gain 3 experience points. You need a certain amount of experience. It's on their hero card. You can see there's a little level up gauge here that shows you when you hit the levels. And if you get a hero all the way up to level 3, that's a permanent primacy point for you. Heroes can't drop levels. They can lose experience if they get center HE, but they can't drop levels. So if you get all the way there, then we get to move up this little track here. And first guy to make it to that star is going to win the game. Otherwise, Chip and I will play for tops of 10 turns, and whoever has the most points at the bottom of turn 10 wins if nobody gets to that 10 points. And I'll be honest with you, in a 2-player game, it's super hard to get to 10 points. 2-player games in this board setup are very aggressive. You'll see a lot of back and forth. Somebody goes up real quick, somebody goes down. It's a little bit more, when you're playing like a 3 or 4-player game, the interactions between other players kind of always let somebody who's being sneaky, like maybe kind of hide a little bit from the other guys.
Behind victory.
Right, but you don't get that in a 2-player. So like that doesn't happen. There's no way to hide. So games are very aggressive.
Yes.
I mean, they will go on. So
the AI.
Yeah, the other thing we want to talk about, this is one of the sort of innovative features about our game, is the AI monsters. We call them AI, we call them script-driven monsters, you might hear us call them. And there's 4 of them that come with the base game. And we have these little tokens here that represent the monsters as they're going to move around the board. One of the first, I think it's like our 3rd stretch goal is to replace these with minis. It's kind of expensive because we have to go out, we have to get a mold made, we have to pay our 3D artists to build them. So it's a little bit of a higher stretch goal. I think it's like $5,000. I think it was at $29K. But then we'll replace these with some sweet minis, just like the heroes. But we're actually thinking about getting some of those like bigger ones, like you see in other miniature games, giant.
40, 50 mil scale.
Right. Those would be a pretty cool addition to the game. But in lieu of that, we have our monster tokens, and there's 4 that come in the box, and we just random out 2 of our monsters instead of picking. Now, when you actually play the game, you can kind of choose in 2 different ways. So the certain monsters actually aren't nearly as bad for certain factions. It just depends on how your faction plays. So one of the things that is sort of a linchpin to our game is this idea that every one of the factions, and there's 4 that come in the game, are completely different. I mean, they don't play similarly at all. So even though they have the same mechanics, like I'm building outposts, I'm collecting resources, the way in which they use those resources, which is the special abilities with their heroes, special abilities on their strategy cards, is just over there typing. So I'm waiting on somebody to say, "We can't hear you, and you've been talking for 15 minutes for no reason." That's what I'm waiting on.
I think they can hear us. Fingers crossed.
That's what I'm waiting on.
We have 13 people watching. We have 13 people watching. I hope one of them was said.
Hey, Neil. Can you say everything you just said over again?
Right.
That's it.
And again, the question I just posted didn't show up. I don't know. Kickstarter's live stream is
it is
interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It leaves much to be desired.
Yeah.
But so I wonder if we can post like, "Can you hear us?" That would probably have been like super clever, right?
We could. Or we could just start playing
in silence.
In silence.
Total silence.
Yeah, I don't know. We got people watching. We'll just keep playing until they say something.
I don't know if they said anything.
That's the best part.
That's the best part. Can somebody type something? Anything in the chat box, and then we'll know. Anything at all? Bueller?
There's probably a delay.
Bueller? I read that I don't doubt, right?
I think it was, when I was testing it out last night, it was like a 30-second delay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not too bad, honestly. Like, we've done live streaming on Twitch and stuff. It can get like 60 to I'm seeing a whole 2 minutes behind.
Really?
Yeah. So, all right. What's going on?
My biggest question is, I think that the chat doesn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So even if they are typing something, we may not know.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So we have no idea. Then I see something.
Dan from Iowa, he can hear us just fine. Dan from Iowa, thank you for letting us know that we're not as bad as we look. We'll say that much.
None of this is our fault. I would have totally rather used Twitch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, Twitch is good, but we're using Kickstarter for all it's worth, and we really look forward to playing this game. So, want to jump in?
Sure. So I guess back to where I was at with one of the base premises of the game is the factions play completely differently. So right now I'm playing the Great Forest Tribes. They kind of circle around the idea of they have fast expansion abilities. They stockpile a lot of resources, and they are very offensively oriented. Unfortunately, on the flip side, their defense is pretty terrible, like in general.
You can't have it all.
No, you can't have it all. So in a lot of cases, you'll see me charge forward and do big wallops of damage, but he's going to hit me back pretty hard. So I would actually imagine between our two faction choices, you're going to see both of us going into retreat quite often as we get aggressive. So anyway, the point I was making was about the monsters, right? So depending on what faction you're playing, you may actually prefer to have a certain monster in your faction. So there's two ways you can play. If you start the game, the two of you, according to the base rules, the two of you can pick which monster you want to play with, and then you deploy it. And you can either deploy it to your left or your right, or across the board in a 4-player game. And sometimes, actually, we found ourselves where I'll actually pick a monster that I know is like annoying for Chip. And he happens to be sitting across the table from me, and I'll be like, "Hey, have fun with that for the rest of the game." You know what I mean?
There is strategy in the placement of monsters. There's difficulty in the decisions you make with which monsters you pick. So there's a lot of just like nuance, even with the monsters that we include in the board.
Right. So the thing about monsters, and the reason why I was saying left or right or straight across matters, is because when a monster has to make a choice, like if it's moving across the board that has two equal paths, it's always going to go left relative to its starting position. Right. So if I want to annoy somebody with a specific monster, then I'll always put it on their right, because that means it's going to have a tendency to move over to the left and come after them. Yeah. So anyway, about the monsters. So here we are. We got the Enchantress and
the Marauder.
Helgoth the Marauder there. And I'm not going to lie, you're going to hear me refer to Helgoth as Bob the Builder over and over again. Because during playtesting and game creation, that's what we call him.
It's our pet name for Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah. So Bob the Builder over there, he does the opposite of building. What Bob likes to do is he likes to hunt down outposts. And he always is going to go after the outposts of whoever has the most, which probably is going to be me more often than not, because I expand faster than Chip does, but that doesn't always be the case. And whoever has the most outposts, he's going to beeline it straight toward the nearest outpost as long as that player is going to attempt to crush it. So the thing about Bob is, the reason why he's really good at killing outposts is the Marauder over there, he always does a minimum amount of damage when he attacks. It doesn't even matter how much you defend by. And the thing about monsters is they level up too. So every time we kill a monster, they're going to go into retreat, but then they're going to redeploy later. Every time they come back, they can make a little bit stronger. So what happens is eventually the Marauder's minimum damage gets up to a point where he pretty much just steamrolls your houses. It's like
he one-shots pretty much anything.
Yeah, he just one-shots houses. So you're like, oh, it's not good. So you kind of have to manage it. The Enchantress over here, Oriana, she just wants to destroy the world. That's what her gig is. So she will always move as fast as possible toward the spirit well. And once she gets there, she's going to attempt to consume the spirit. So the nefarious thing about Oriana is that every time she consumes the spirit, we're going to put a counter on her. And we have little counter tokens over here that we can place on her. And she's going to create an explosion. So the way the explosion works is the very first time she creates an explosion, it's going to be 1 damage at 1 range, which is just every tile around the center. The next time she consumes a spirit, it's going to be 2 damage at 2 range, and then 3 damage at 3 range. And at that point, she's pretty much wrecking the board, so we have to stop her. So she's actually more scary in a 2-player game because the board is a little smaller.
Probably the scariest monster.
You can't get away from her, right? And
we've set ourselves out for destruction.
It may not be unheard of that Chip and I might have a truce for half a second to take out the Enchantress.
It's important to note that AI can win the game.
Yes, they can.
There are win conditions for all of our AI monsters.
If Oriana consumes 4 spirit total, she wins. The game ends, she wins. And that has happened before, especially in a 2-player game. Yeah. If you get busy being aggressive between each other and I want payback for that outpost you just burned down and we're not paying attention, and then, all of a sudden
she wins.
And I don't think I've ever seen the Marauder win the game, but he tilts the game. He's like a kingmaker because he's stopping the person who's trying to win by giving primacy with outposts and crushing them. So he's probably going to be pretty pivotal in this game. We're going to see how that goes. So to get started with our game, you pick out your strategy card that belongs to your faction, just so you know that when we get to stretch goals in the Kickstarter, there will be multiple strategy cards per faction and more than just the 3 heroes in the starter box. That's kind of the whole point of those stretch goals. That way, not only are you able to start the game, but you can customize how you play. So you can say, like, maybe the Great Fortress has 2 different strategy cards that I can pick from, completely different gameplay, and then, however many heroes and things we unlock, that would be awesome. So we're looking forward to that because this game just sort of like begs to be expanded upon.
Yeah, there's so much expansion possible.
It's one of those things where we imagine people sitting around thinking about the game, like in their non-game time, like their off-game time, being like, I wonder how I could use this hero better,
meta building,
pretty much. So So that'd be cool. We also start, like I said, level 2 outposts. Our heroes are deployed. We are pretty much ready to go. And we also start with 3 gold, 2 iron, and 2 lumber, so that we can get started. So Chip and I are going to figure out who's going to get the initiative first. These are D3s, by the way. They're going to look like D6s to you. And the reason why we decided to go with a D6 instead of an actual D3 is because I don't know if you guys have ever seen an actual D3.
It's weird.
It doesn't look like a die.
No,
it looks like looks like a tube.
All it does is roll off the
Yeah.
table. Every time you roll it, it just rolls off the table.
It looks like a tube with 3 flat sides. It's really hard to describe.
So this is a D6 that's got 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s,
which
ostensibly making it a D3.
And the reason why we chose to use D3s is because a D6 itself, like 1 through 6, as you'll see when we're getting attacking and defending each other, the more numbers you have on the die, the more variance you have. So, it's always possible for somebody to get insanely lucky, or as with Chip always is, insanely unlucky, right?
I'm going to roll a lot of 1s.
And so,
I want you all to know that.
So the variance on a D3 is like, I rolled 5 dice and I got 5 3s. Well, that's a 15 in our game. That's great. But if you roll 5 6s, it's like a 30. It's like all of a sudden the numbers swings. The numbers are unnecessary and it creates mass variance. That's why we have the D3.
Can you beat that? This is my best roll.
1 D3. Yep, sure can.
Oh man.
3 2 2. So I'm going to be taking the first turn. I went ahead and 3 2 2. Oh, you have a 3 3 1.
Yes.
I thought you had a 1 2 3.
Uh-oh. I'm getting my hot rolls.
Oh my gosh.
Hot roll.
I can deal with that.
I can. Triple 3. Oh,
I
so
can't
sad.
deal with that.
Alright. So sad. So I will start. So like Neil said, we're all set up. We've got our resources. And so the first thing you're going to do is activate a hero. So you pick one of your...
Well, we're going to choose a strategy too. So
yes,
I'm actually picking my strategy over here. Typically, when you look at the cards, unless you're playing Cabal, and Cabal, we'll have to play a game with live stream maybe. You'll see that. So we're going to live stream tomorrow. We'll have 4 people here doing a 4-player game. And you'll see that Cabal just plays so radically different from the other 3 factions that a lot of what I say might not even apply to Cabal. But in the case of the Ramal Nations, Great Forest Tribes, and Kingdom of Our Clan, typically the right side of your strategy card when you go to unlock abilities is sort of like kind of like your growth strategy usually. Like for me, this is going to allow me to collect more resources faster. So every game turn, we're going to pick a new strategy to set as our chosen strategy. And if I don't think they can see my card. They can kind of see it, right?
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah.
So what happens is I chose the right tree first, and then I'm going to place a token. Now I can either choose the money bag side or the lightning bolt side. And when you actually look at the strategies, the way that they work is every time you choose that tree, you get to unlock the next one down. And once it's unlocked, it's available to you for now and forever. Even if you change trees, you always have it unlocked. So I can always use it. Now, if I place the money bag down, what that means is that in order to use that first ability on the strategy, it's going to be one of any resource cheaper of my choice when I go to use it. So typically, like if I look at this one, it only costs 1 resource to start with. This is Wild Surge, and what that would allow me to do is it would say 1 outpost occupied or adjacent to my active hero immediately generates resources for me. This is like Tribes 101, right, where they start the whole resource gaining train. That's kind of how it works. And if you pick the lightning bolt side, though, what that means is that you'll pay full price for that strategy, and it will have an enhanced ability. So in my case, if I choose the lightning bolt, I'll have to pay a lumber every time I use it, but I can actually generate resources from 2 different outposts at the same time, which is pretty amazing. If I have 2 level 3 outposts, that means I'm going to be swimming in resources. So I usually do choose to pay the lumber, but if you were in a pinch, you might go for the -1 money. Especially in the early game, the -1 money is a heck of a lot more tempting. When I don't have a lot of outposts sitting around and I need...
I'm going for the -1 money. So. I'm trying to get in the early game.
So you have a Sanseas shipment?
Sanseas shipment, yeah. Very similar. There's kind of like Neil said, the right side of your strategy card is really about growth and expansion. This is a 4X game, so the early game is really about exploring and expanding and a little bit of exploiting. We'll get to the exterminating in a little bit. But yeah, similarly, I picked something called Sanseas Shipments.
Oh, we got comments.
Faction, can you tell us what your faction perks are? Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. So that's like a monster question because the factions play so differently, like they are perk. So I would think to best answer that question, like for example, I'm playing Great Forest Tribes. As I was stating earlier, what Great Forest Tribes do best is they expand. and they're very aggressive. Most of my heroes have at least a 3 attack value, which is very high for a starting hero.
Very high.
But they also have a 1 defense value, which means I'm going to get hammered a lot. So that means I'm glass cannon. Like I get hit hard, but I don't take punches well.
Right.
And I have 3 different heroes. Now, I like, through all the, how many games we played? Hundreds of games at this point. So typically, if I was playing Great Forest Tribes, my go-to, my personal favorite is that I would take the Chieftain, which is Aaron Bari, because he's the most defensive character I have, and he combos really well as my commander because he spreads sort of like a defense aura that helps me out a little bit. But what you're going to see me doing is you're going to see me being mostly expanding with houses, trying to defend that territory, keeping Bob off of me while I'm trying to
Bob's going to mess you up.
And basically trying to hammer Chip. Now, what Chip's going to be doing is Ramal nations are all about sneaky. So they teleport around a lot. You're going to be seeing him moving models around. You'll see him move a model over here, and all of a sudden his entire force will be over there fighting against one guy, and I'll get hammered by it. And he'll laugh hysterically as he sends my guys into retreat.
Yep.
Ramal suffers, their sort of like drawback is they have a lot of like fantastic abilities, but they don't really have a whole lot of resource gainers. So you have to be very careful. And with your playing Ramal, you're using your abilities wisely, or at least you're waiting for knockout punches. You need to build someone with a stockpile of resources so you can actually pull it off. So every time somebody uses an ability, most of them, I shouldn't say every time, but most of the time it has a cost associated with it. So you got to have resources necessary to build it.
Ramal hits hard, but they get resource starved really easily. So like Neil said, you be very specific about when you're going to throw in that knockout punch. But otherwise, you're tricky.
He's chosen as his commander, he's chosen the Twin Blades, which is a very smart choice. So Ramal is the only faction that has a commander, and nominally the Twin Blades, who, if I don't get victory points, if I get primacy, if I take him out.
Right.
So he doesn't bonus, he gives no bonus to the rest of his other heroes or to Chip playing, but he gets rid of a very significant negative, which is making himself vulnerable to giving me primacy by killing commander, which is very powerful.
Now I can be aggressive with him and not worry about giving up a primacy point if Neil decides he's going to go after my commander.
So all of the heroes, by the way, have very powerful command abilities, and that is absolutely on purpose. They are fantastic. Like I said, typically I would choose Arthur Bard because he has more of a defensive aura. Zakhet also has an ability to do stuff as defense, which makes him hysterical because he can run in and just smack people in the face, and then when they try to get revenge, he's like, no. And I'm playing with Arzela tonight, though, and what Arzela does is she, it's a pretty high-cost ability, but she can sort of project a windstorm around herself, which allows me to project sort of like board control, where anytime Chip moves into a tile adjacent to Arzela with anybody at any time, he starts taking 2 damage every time he moves, which is pretty hilarious. And I'm going to see how that works. So you're wrecking us, man.
Wrecking it. Another beer.
I hear you. Other than that, I guess the other factions, if you want to know what's sitting in our prototype box over here, we have Cabal. And the Cabal plays wildly differently from even in play style. They can't build outposts. That's like a really big thing for them. The way that they earn primacy points is through shuffling through their strategies. All 3 of their strategy trees can produce primacy for them. And they typically get it by sending enemy heroes into retreat or burning any outposts. As an aside, though, Cabal can't really generate their own resources through outposts. They can't build an outpost, which means they basically can't defend any section of the board, and they don't get the free income that comes from outposts. So they have to earn it by smashing and burning. That's kind of their shtick. Cabal is also, by very nature, is super aggressive. They end up with rolling quite a lot of dice to be doing attacks, and there's 2 different kind of ways I've seen Cabal played, just in general, from people that are playtesters who've been trying the game. And probably my favorite strategy with the Cabal is just to be ludicrously aggressive and not worry about if I'm losing heroes in return, with the goal being to try to get my heroes as much experience as possible to level them up quickly. That's kind of their shtick. Because once you start leveling Cabal up, they start getting really, really nasty abilities. Very, very funny stuff. It's very expensive, but you can do some tremendous board damage with them. And then we have Arkland. So Arkland would be like, I would say Arkland is like our kind of like, they're the most straightforward faction.
They're like a slow, methodical,
very defensive,
defend a little, fight a little, win.
That's right. It's like you gear up to go into offense, you make a push, and then you gear back down into turtle, and you kind of hold. It's like bite and hold, and You just collect resources, and your heroes are very defensive, and you just kind of muscle your way across the board. I sort of relate them as like a very slow steamroller. That's kind of how it works. It's really hard to push a steamroller back. It's like
if you've ever played Warhammer 40K, which I think some of our viewers have, they're kind of like the Space Marines of our game. They're standard. They're like 4s across the board, and they slowly grind out the game. They're very hard to push back when they don't want to be pushed. They're very strong when they need to be. I think they have at least tricks, so you kind of know what you're fighting.
Yes.
But even when you know, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Some of the, especially getting past the Unbreakable. Getting past Fabian is almost impossible if he's in an outpost. So they're very good at like a bite and hold strategy. So let's play. Let's do this. So I think you got first turn. So I believe you're up.
All right. So when you activate hero, we've got many chips. I think the box chips with like 170 chips or something. I think we said 160 plus. Yep. But yeah, we have a ton of chips.
We lost count after a while.
I can't count that high. So I'm going to activate Asahaba, who is my blood mage. I'm going to move 1 square. I'm going to spend 2 gold.
What am I drinking right now?
I don't know. What are you drinking?
Imperial Red IPA.
Red IPA. Shout out to Star Hill. Their beer is delicious.
It's a sponsor for this evening.
Sponsor for this evening. Star Hill Brewery, located in Charlottesville, Virginia. So I'm going to build a level 1 outpost. I spent 2 gold to do so. And then I'm going to move 1 more time. I'm covering this random tile, and it's another gold mine. And my turn is complete.
So normally you would see the monsters go in between us. So normally, since the gameplay moves clockwise, you would see Oriana going in between us. Monsters do not activate on the very first player turn, on the very first game turn. So we get 1 free pass before when it comes back around the chip, it's going to be me. So before I go, this is like a core mechanic of why we call War for Indagar a fast-paced 4X strategy game. So you can see the chip move, he did some stuff, now I'm going, right? You won't really find in War for Indagar, and I'm going to lie. Now, if you got some guy, you know that friend who plays board games, and he just sits there and thinks for like 20 minutes, and you're like, dude, just go, think during my turn, what is wrong with you, And it's like, yeah, okay, I can't help you there, right? But ultimately what happens is his chip moved, he built a house, he moved again, he's done. It's now my turn. I get to move some stuff, and then I'm going to do some stuff, and it's his turn, it's my turn, it's his turn, it's my turn. And that's what makes it fast-paced, because you're never sitting there, and like a lot of 4X strategy games, and just like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just waiting. Yeah.
I love TI, but this game does not take an entire Sunday to play. We've been talking a lot, but you'll see once we start picking things up, this game is going to finish in probably about an hour and a half.
So as tribes, I'm going to go ahead and activate Aranthar over here. So I'm going to place my little activation token at the top of his card so that we all remember that. And I'm also going to go for building the lumber house. Now, as you can probably imagine, Great Forest tribes, they are a little bit more dependent on lumber, whereas Chip is actually a little bit more dependent on ore. So I'm going for the lumber. And then
I've already misplayed. Don't tell anyone.
Then I don't want to move forward right now. I think I'm just going to go and unveil this tile here. Oh boy, Poison Swamp. So
danger.
I steps dumbly into the Poison Swamp. So what that means is Aranthar is going to take 2 damage. And if he had any more movement, he would be stopped because it's a swamp. So you can imagine I'm not going to go back through that tile again. And we'll be good on that. So it's Bob gets skipped, so now it's on to Chip here.
And this is one of those tiles that Neil was explaining earlier. There's lots of random kind of like surprises as you're uncovering the fog of war. All these tiles are uncovered right now. But as we play out the game, you'll see things like dangerous swamps, things like impassable mountains, perhaps a demon or two. And to really just, it keeps the game kind of like fun and lively and pretty exciting. So I'm going to activate Tanishi Ababi, the little snake. That is my Blood Cult Assassin right here. And 1.
Free house. So he's just uncovered a Forgotten Sword Ruin. So he gets to place a free house on there. So if you're wondering what I'm thinking when he hits that, I'm like, oh, cool, he's got 3 outposts now, so that'll make Bob go toward him. So now I'm questioning where I was originally before he started going. I was thinking.
Then I'm going to go here, and since I haven't used an action yet, the house was free. I will use my action to mine this.
Cool.
That is the end of mine.
So the way the Spirit Well works is it only produces one spirit per game turn, and if nobody claims it, it will actually have 2 spirit on it, and so forth. Which makes it even more dangerous if Oriana gets the Spirit Well and nobody's mined it in a while. She can pretty much instant win the game if she steps onto it and she's sitting there with 4 spirit on it. I mean, she's got you. So you got to watch out for her. So now that we've had one full go round, it's now Oriana's turn. So she's going to go. She just moves 1 tile at a time. Her script is she beelines it as fast as possible right for the Spirit Well. So she is done.
And monsters do not uncover parts of the
Spirit Well. Monsters do not reveal the fog of war for you. So they just move with impunity in that regard. Now, that doesn't mean that they move to impunity over revealed tiles.
Right.
They still have to respect mountains. Those are still impassable to them. I mean, if she was to step into the poison swamp or be forced to retreat into it, she would still take 2 damage.
Yep.
So that's a thing. So that kind of saves me from Bob.
Yeah.
But I could build a 3rd anyway because he's going to go left. So he's going to go after you anyway.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and spend my 1 lumber to activate Wild Surge over here on my strategy card.
Okay.
So what I do when I activate that, because it is an active ability, it means I have to activate it. So here's how that works. I just said the word active like 5 times, but here's how that works. So once I have used this ability, that kind of locks the whole tree. So if there was another ability on there, I wouldn't be able to use it for the rest of this game turn. So you have to be a little bit clever about when you use things. It's not just sort of like open season once you've unlocked an ability. So there's not only have to pay the cost, but you have to worry about what it's locking you out from doing later.
Okay.
So he's going to go ahead and force an adjacent outpost to generate resources, which will get me a Z2 gold that I want. And Zakked's going to move up. We're going to spend that 2 gold. We're going to drop the house down. And he's already moved there. So I'm pretty free to move at this point because Chip's already activated this character, so I don't have to worry about him coming in and punching me in the face right now. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and move up here and do this. And by the way, I'm currently sitting at 3 points, and so is Chip. So it is now Bob's turn. So we both have the same number of houses. Bob doesn't know who to go after, which means he's just going to go after the closest house. He has 2 houses that are equally close. Therefore, he always goes left. So he's just going to go left. 1, 2, and here it comes. So he's going to munch on Chip's house. Chip left it undefended. So I think that was your mistake already, right?
I've misplayed so much already.
Bob, if we check out his card, he just straight up tells you. So by the way, the monster, there's like a paraphrase version of the rulebook here right at the top. So if you ever forget what the monster is supposed to do, it tells you right there. And then Bob does immediately 2 damage at level 0. So the house only has 3 hit points. And if you ever forget that or you want to know, it's on this handy little card here it shows you. And then Bob's going to attack it, and he's going to crush this thing. So Bob's going to roll 3 attack dice. The outpost only gets 1. And for attacking and defending, we kept it very simple. It's just a straight up number versus number. Whatever I rolls, how much damage I do. Whatever he rolls, how much damage he blocks. So I've crushed it, because the highest he can roll is a 3. I've already rolled 6 damage. So that house goes kaput. And Chip loses a point. And it is now his turn. Oh, and Monster will charge 3. Monsters always charge 3.
What Neil doesn't know is that this was all a gambit to get Bob into my backfield so that I can try to kill him.
It's a pretty good gambit.
Yes. So what this will allow me to do is activate my final hero, which is the Twin Blades. And he is my commander. And so this will allow me to move up and attack Bob. But the best part about attacking Bob right now is that because I have another hero in a adjacent tile, that gives me a flanking bonus. That will give me an additional attack die towards what I'm looking to do.
Go.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to power up Braska Hall. I'm going to spend 1 gold cube, to use my basic ability called Ultimate Warrior. That means I gain +1 attack or +1 defend during an attack. I want +1 attack here. So that's going to give me an additional die. I already start with 2. And then because I have a flanking bonus, that's going to give me a 4th die. And so hopefully I'll be able to put some damage on this guy. And
so Bob has a total of 1 defense right now, level 0. So here you go. Bob gets 2.
And in typical fashion, I roll like absolute hell.
I love it. 3 damage.
So I do 3 damage to Bob, which...
So you'll notice our little wound counters, they have a 1 on one side and a 3 on one side. That way you don't need like a billion tokens. So all we got to do is put 3 down here on Bob's card and we know where he's at. The other thing is that Bob has to retreat now. He has to fall back. So anytime a guy takes at least 2 damage in a combat, he has to move back. So the question is, where does Bob go? So the interesting thing about this is whoever is acting last breaks randomness in the game. So actually going last in a game turn does have strategic value, whereas also going first has strategic value. Since I'm going last, I get to pick where Bob goes. So naturally, I'm going to slide Bob closer to myself, just like that.
So he's going to try to snipe off the wounded marauder that I have basically gifted him. My gambit has failed because I rolled poorly.
So Oriana's going to move up 1. And then she's going to attack someone. Now, Oriana does 0 damage all the time. Actually, when she levels up, she starts doing 1 and basing it up 2. Her interesting thing is she doesn't really engage. All she does is push people. So she's going to push someone. And again, since I get to choose who he's going to push, I'm actually going to push myself, which is an interesting choice, right? So she's going to push, and he has to fall back. So I'm just going to fall back onto my house and then move her into the tile. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So now it's my turn. I forgot to show that I activated Zotkid here. And I'm going to go ahead and activate Arzilla.
Your commander.
And here she comes. Right.
Look at that tile.
Let's see what it is.
Could be a mountain.
It is a free house.
Free house.
Loving life. Loving life.
Let me tell you how free houses turn out, though.
Well, you know what? Anything to give me more defense.
Yeah.
I'm super happy. I'm super stoked about it. So, especially since I'm not in werebear form right now. So, we got any more comments up there?
No, we're good right now.
We're good.
Dan Hopper says he just found out about this game and he digs it.
Dan, you're our man right now.
Oh.
Love you, Dan.
I'm attacking. I am smashing this dude's face.
All right. I'll roll his defense.
I don't think I need to werebear. I don't think I can afford it anyway. I don't have gold. So.
Oh, now we roll high.
Oh,
now we roll high.
It's all right.
What you got?
I'll need to do 3 damage to take Bob out. Now, the reason why, we should explain why this is so pivotal, right? Because Chip got 1 experience point, which he put over here just for winning that combat. He did at least 2 damage, so he wins. But if I send Bob into retreat, I get 3 experience points, which is immediately going to gain Arzela a level.
Right. Man,
that's why this is a big deal. Yes!
Oh, just
6
enough.
damage.
Just enough.
See you later, Bob. So what we do with monsters, when we put them out, if we flip them over to the handy gray side and we just put them back on their card. Now what's going to happen is at the start of the next game turn, which is now, we're almost done with game turn 1, we're going to flip Bob over to the colored side, and that's going to let us know that he's ready to come back in. And then on the following game turn, he's going to redeploy, do his spiel. Okay. So I'm going to immediately gain 3 experience, which gains me a level. There's no reason to do this, but I'll show you how it works. I would place my 3 cubes, which it's off camera anyway, I don't think you can see it. I'd place my 3 cubes on there, and I'd get to the 1. I'd pull the experience up. And I would gain the level.
You should move that beer.
I should move that beer, and I will. And what I'm advertising for
Star Hill.
Star Hill.
Star Hill. Thanks for sponsoring this.
So I'm going to actually bump up Arzela's defense. Yeah, so commanders already start with +1 defense, which gives an Arzela 2. But I'm going to go ahead and make her 3 defense, which is going to make Chip's inevitable retaliation against Arzela to try to get that primacy going off my commander harder.
Yes.
Now she's in a house, and she has 3 base defense. That's going to give her 4 base defense, and he's going to have a really hard time punching through that. So, I'm loving life right now.
Hard, but not impossible.
Doing well. That ends the first game turn, so now we're going to collect resources. The way that works is you collect 1 of a resource of the type that you have an outpost on equal to its level. So right now I have a level 2 on my gold, so I get 2 gold.
I do as well.
I have a level 1 on ore. And I have 2 level 1s on wood, so I get 2 wood for that. And right now I am in a commanding position, doing very good. So
my gambits have failed.
So the next thing you do is you check to see if anybody's won. Anybody won yet? No. All right. So the next thing you do is you're going to pick your next strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and choose. No, I love geomancy.
While you do that, I'm going
to press my advantage and take my cantrip. So I'm going to go ahead and unactivate all of my heroes so we know we're ready to go. And that's it. So I have to choose now. Now that I've chosen my cantrip, one thing I didn't mention before is when you're using your strategies, is not only are you being able to level up into another building on a tree, you're also unlocking for that turn, as long as your chosen strategy, this global ability here at the top. So lycanthropy is a very interesting thing. In our lore, the Great Forest tribes, they live in a magical forest. It's not just a normal like little Tolkien wood forest. It is a very massive, about a quarter of the size of the continent of Indagar forest. And for the most part, by magic, I mean it is literally inundated in like a sea of magic. So in our world, magic is kind of like in the air. It's in the water. It has a physical presence, and it is inundating this forest. So what happens is when you live in the Great Tribes, magic is not necessarily in our lore a good thing all the time. In fact, being exposed to too much magic is what created the Kabbalists and things like that. It has mutative effects. It will mutate your body. It will do all sorts of nasty things if you OD on it. So living in the Great Forest when you're completely surrounded by magic all the time isn't always a pleasant thing. And a lot of their lore is spent around trying to figure out how to dispel magic. So they use things like Arzela over here. She's a bear shaman. So as part of the lore, bear shamans, they travel from village to village, sort of dispersing magic out of villagers to keep them from mutating. So what they refer to that is that they refer to it in their tribal culture as the wild. So they don't really see it as a magic. They deify it and call it the wild. And the reason why they call it the wild is because not only does it mutate people, it also mutates all the plants and animals. It keeps that great forest acting more like a rainforest, a very thick forest. And it can mutate monsters in the woods. You can imagine one of the famed monsters that prowls the woods is a mutation off of a black panther. It makes it much larger and like saber teeth and things like that. So you'll see that in some of the lore with like Zarket over here is carrying an antler from a mutated monster. That's one of his weapons. And it's like I can go on and on for hours. I can talk about lore for the rest of the live stream. I'm not going to lie to you. We have a wiki that has about 600 pages on it. So our world building is quite extensive. We've been doing it for multiple years now, mostly for our previous Kickstarter, which was a miniature war game, and then now for this Kickstarter, we're living in the same world. So lycanthropy, anyway, the point is that lycanthropy is a big deal for the Great Tribes. They mutate. That's how it happens.
They turn into werebears.
That's pretty much it. So we's ready. Collect your resources.
Yep, got them.
Pick your strategy.
Got it.
My go. So I'm going to go ahead and.
You won't do it. Oh, wait. One more important thing.
Yeah. Oh. Trixie. Trixie. I could try to beat you off of it.
You could. You'll try, but you'll fail. I'll fail.
Well, even if I beat you off of it, Oriana's just going to get it, and then I'm going to take a hit in the face. I'm not sure it's a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and move Arnthar. He's going to plug on over here. Let's see. Another swamp. Cool story. So he steps on one swamp into another swamp. By the way, I forgot to heal 1 damage off Arnthar. Every turn, all the heroes heal 1 hit point. Actually, Arnthar is tough, so he heals 2 hit points. Yay!
Now, this is not a dangerous swamp, though.
Just
this
a normal old swamp.
Regular old swamp. What that means is it stops his movement. So even though he has 2 movement, he is stuck there, cannot move.
So I had a plan, and now it's not going.
Plan has failed.
By the way, I'm going to unlock the -1 money over here on Ball.
So Bob is off the board, but he is flipped over to his active side.
Yep.
That means he will come in next turn. Now it is my go.
Your go.
And I'm going to activate the little snake. I'm going to mine that spirit, bringing my total up to 2. And I'm going to start running away. Gold. Plains.
All right.
Do I want to? No. All right.
What's going to be?
I'm good there.
All right. So Oriana's going to go. She moves on to the spirit well, but there's no spirit to be chomped on, so she is just hanging out. That's what she does. So I am going to go ahead and, let's see, I activated Arnthar, and he quickly stumbled into more swamp. Good job, buddy. And then
Winning.
I'm going to go ahead and move Arzela over 1 tile.
Not a swamp.
What do we get? Local traders?
Local traders.
So what local traders is, and that is traders, not traders.
Right. Traders.
The local traders, what they do is they immediately activate all of my strategies. So that's a pretty bummer for me because that took away both Maul, which would have been my attack ability, and also took away Wild Surge, which I haven't used yet this turn. I could have earned money with, so that's going to slow me down a whole turn now. Which is a pretty big bummer. Now, I don't want Arzela to get hammered, so she's just going to hand back into the house and hang out. And in fact, while I'm hanging out there, she's going to go ahead and spend 1 gold, 2 lumber, to go ahead and upgrade that puppy into a level 2 outpost. Good deal. Now notice I don't get another primacy point for that. You only ever get one. Doesn't matter what level the house is.
But you will earn 2 resources.
But I will earn 2 lumber, and she has a +2 defense while she's standing in there, which makes her even less enticing to try to go punch.
I can't kill her. Couldn't if I tried. All right. So what am I going to do? So I'm going to activate Asahaba.
That was our Zayla. She is activated.
She is going to spend 2 gold to build a level 1 outpost. And she has a special ability that gives her an experience every time she builds.
Yeah, so Asahaba is, every character has a set of base special rules. Like, for example, you saw me earlier with Arthur Vari. I said, oh, your hero heals 1. And I said, oh, but he's tough, so he heals 2. That's one of his sort of like base special rules.
Yeah.
Asahaba has 2 of them. She has one called Builder and one called Masochist. So what Builder means is that Asahaba can actually gain experience points by building outposts. And what Masochist means is that she can basically cut herself to get more powerful. I'm not gonna lie. She's a blood mage, by the way. So
yes.
That's the
blood makes her stronger.
Yes,
obviously. So with her 2 movements.
So what happened here is he was going to move a second time, and he flipped over a mountain. So what that means is the mountain is impassable. So he couldn't go there. He has to go back to where he was, and he loses the movement for trying to go there.
Right. So with the second movement I have, I'll just move 1 house up, and that is the end of Asahaba's turn.
Okay, I should have done her basic.
So Dan, what inspired us to create this game? We had tried to launch originally a tabletop war game,
which is where this guy came from.
Right.
We have our Werebear mini from that game.
So Neil and I are longtime tabletop war gamers. We played 40K, we played Fantasy, we played Malifaux, we played just a number of tabletop miniature strategy war games. And so that's where we originally wanted to go with this. But as we talked to more people, as we showed off our game, it seemed like there was a lot more interest in it being really just a deeper strategy game than an actual, using a ruler or a tape measure, building your own terrain, like that kind of tabletop war game. And so that's what inspired us to create this. You still get the feel of a tabletop strategy game. You still have cool minis. You're still rolling a few dice. But largely, the strategy component is still there, and that's our favorite part of it.
And I just love 4X strategy games.
Right.
My house is full of them.
But this one you can play in less than a weekend.
That is true.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so Zakhet is up. It's going up at bat. So I think I'm just going to explore a little bit as well. I need to figure out what's around me. So I got some woods there, which I'm super tempted to build a house on, especially with Bob off the board right now. That put me at 5. I'm going for it. I got so much wood, though, already. You know what? I'm doing it. So out goes that. Here comes the house. I'm moving up to 5 points, and then I'm going to go explore this next tile, which is a plains.
You just snuck all the boring tiles in, huh?
Right? I got the plains of, we need to name this section. Plains of something.
Of Erenthar.
Get a good name.
There you go.
I was expecting a demon. You know that's what I was expecting.
Next person that backs gets to name what the plains are called.
In fact, you can name the rest of the board. I'm not going to lie.
Cool. All right, so I am going to use one of my one of my spirits, and I can do a number of things with that. I can use 2 of them to gain a primacy point. I'm not going to do that. What I can do is I can use 1 to turn it into 3 of any resource.
Oh, snap.
So I'm going to turn that into 3 gold. Wow.
This is a clutch play right here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm going to use 1 of those gold to activate Sand Sea's shipment.
All right. For the ore.
For the ore. And that'll give me 2 ore. And then I'm going to use the other 2 gold as I activate the twin blades.
I smell skullduggery coming out of the edges.
Wow,
that's it? Just our house? All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, bump it up, Tim.
But you're at 5, so Bob is off my back. And then I'm going to explore. Boom. This tile gives me, it's like a weapons cache, so it'll give me an extra defense.
So this is the armor cache, so this is pretty cool. So what this is, he's discovered an armor cache on a tile. I got the mountains. I love how it's symmetrical.
I know.
That's awesome.
I've narrowed it.
You have the mountain pass?
It's a funnel. You want to come in my backfield?
I love it.
Through the mountains.
So he has just discovered an armor cache. So what that means is that Hall, which is even better now actually is carrying around an additional +1 defense. Now that's not permanent. So if he gets into the retreat, he's going to lose that token for the rest of the game, and no one can reclaim it. It's not like you can pass through this tile over and over and you get +1.
It's a one-time find.
And once the Twin Blades took the armor, that's it. He's got it. So that's it. Game turn 2 done.
And phase mountains.
So I'm unactivating all of the heroes and all the strategies. I think I'm going to switch over to Wild Meter this time. I'll probably stay there for a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and put -1 cost on the Resurgence. And I'm going to collect all the resources from my Empire of Outposts. So I've got the 2 gold. I've got the 3-4 lumber. And I got the ore.
And I get 1 gold, 1 lumber, and, sorry, 3 gold, 1 ore, 1 lumber. So you'll see in the early game, like many 4X games, you really start stockpiling resources because the late game is where you're going to spending them all, be very quickly running out of resources, trying to get those finishing punches in.
We're kind of being a little standoffish right now.
We are.
We didn't just dive right into each other. So you notice Bob's coming back. And by the way, if you're new to the video, we keep calling Bob. That is Helgoth the Marauder. But during play testing, we constantly refer to Helgoth as Bob the Builder. So
I don't know why.
I don't know why either, because he doesn't build anything.
No,
it's kind of weird.
It's ironic.
You heard us say Bob constantly. And actually, Oriana, the Enchantress, had a totally different name too, except we just got done watching. I was making the joke about that horrible movie Suicide Squad and about how the bad guy was the Enchantress from DC Comics, and they had her in the comic book. She would just look at the screen and be like, Enchantress, and turn into the Enchantress. And so she was like the sorceress or something like that. And I kept saying Enchantress over and over, and eventually the name stuck. So that's how we ended up there. Bit of Kickstarter history. We're for history.
A little backstory.
So it's my go. I have the initiative now. You'll notice that, it's Chip's go again. You'll notice that whoever went first last time, it switches. So in a 3 or 4 player game, the initiative moves clockwise every single time. So if you were first last turn, you will be last on the next turn.
Right. Cool. Okay.
Chip is up.
So Oriana is going to do something.
It's actually a really cool mechanic that who goes first changes constantly. It forces you to think 2 or 3 game turns ahead about when you're going to have the first turn or the last turn in the case of being able to make those random choices.
I need to be able to throw a punch. What can I do here?
I got a fortress over there protecting Arzela.
Alright, so I'm going to see what this tile holds.
Ooh, another blank.
It is a blank.
I think that's all the blanks. So we are blanked out.
Okay.
Everything else from now on.
Everything else is going to be exciting.
It's going to be something.
Well, good. Let's see what it is. I'll just walk 1 step back.
Oh.
I don't know if I don't think I'm in a good
Message?
position.
It's from Mom. It's from Mom. So I'm waiting on Mom to say, hey, I just backed your Kickstarter. That's what I'm waiting on, Mom.
So,
Mom, if you're watching the video,
back to Kickstarter.
back to Kickstarter, Mom.
So I am going to
My
spend.
mom says, cool video. Who's narrating it? Sounds English accent.
That's awesome. So I'm going to build again.
Oh, God.
We're doing a lot of
Well,
building.
English accent. It's no English
It's no
accent
English
on this
accent.
how to play the game in 90 seconds video.
I hate the position I'm in right now. I really do. But I think I'm setting something up. So I'm with it. All right. In addition, I'm going to use Sandsea Shipment.
I'm not going to lie, Chip. I mean, this is nothing against you, but my general strategy is to wait till you set something up and then you'll just roll once.
What are you trying to say, Neil? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying I just ignore whatever you're doing most of the time.
Listen, no, but I'm preparing for variance. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm stockpiling.
All right.
So that's it. That's my.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, good thing you moved up to 5 points for me just in time. So Oriana's going to go. Snork. She's going to eat this. We're going to place that over there. She's not going to do 1 damage and a 1 radius, which doesn't hurt anybody right now. But she has eaten her first spirit. So
Things are getting real.
If you're just joining us, what happens when she eats spirit is she creates an explosion, an ever-expanding explosion that does damage to everyone and everything. And if she ever eats 4 total, she will win the game, and we will both lose. So
it could happen.
That is a thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and activate Zaked, and he's going to move through here.
Another swamp.
And now I'm going to attack Chess because I have nothing better to do. So,
all
right. So, here comes the Blind Fury. So I'll be dropping a gold for that to get +1 attack until the end of my turn.
Okay.
On to the Zaked.
So I start with 2 defense plus I'm in a house, so it gives me an additional defense.
And Zak starts with 3 attack, and I'm getting +1 for his Blind Fury ability, which I just paid.
Oh snap!
What is this? What is this?
It's a chip you've never seen before.
I don't know what to do.
Better roll hot.
What is this?
Oh my!
Oh! Devastation!
Come on!
Domination!
Oh, you're ridiculous.
3 damage. That'll kill the house.
Yeah. So damage is always front loaded onto our outposts.
Right, because an outpost is like a castle. You're hiding in the castle wall. You have to fight. Your army has to fight to the castle. So you do damage to the castle wall first. It makes perfect sense. So, but that does mean that he didn't actually take any damage. Cat does get an experience because he did blow through at least 2 damage. But that's all she wrote. All right. So Bob's going to go, but now, lucky for me, Bob is now targeting me, right? Because I just killed his house, so I have the most houses. So Bob's going to be lining as close as possible. He has 2 choices. He can either go here or here. He'll always go left relative to his starting position. This is his left. And now he's going to attack Arzela. So by the way, Bob just came back on the board, so he gets a +1 defense token. He's now level 1, which is a minimum of 3 damage Bob will do. So I'm kind of lucky because I built a level 2 outpost, which has 4 hit points, so he's not going to one-shot it. So that's good. So now he's actually got to beat my defense, which is pretty darn high on Arzela nowadays. She's base 1, +1 for my commanders 2, +1 for the level up. So she says 3, and she's a level 2 house, so I'm rolling 5 dice. Ouch. Ouch. Wow, I'm going to take a hike.
5 roll 6. Oh,
out and around, Bob. Out and around. So I won the defensive combat. Bob didn't hurt me at all, and Arzela will get an experience point for that. And Bob will be let me in. Let me in, Arzela. I want you let me in.
All right. So what can I do that will be exciting to watch? So I'm going to activate Asahaba. I'm going to move her.
What is this?
What is this? And I'm going to use. Well, first, I'm going to gain blood points.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use her masochist ability. That means for every 2 damage, I can add an additional attack die to my roll.
Yeah, so she cuts herself to get more attack dice. That's how it works.
So she starts with 1. She has a flanking bonus for 2. And then I'm going to take 4 damage, which I will add to her pool to gain 2 more dice. So that'll be a total of 4.
What is this?
I'm going to try to fight Zaked.
Let's do this.
Not a bad roll for me.
That's average.
Yeah.
That's like straight average. 8.
Boom!
Oh,
Explosion!
Right in the face.
So Neil rolled 1. I rolled 8.
So
Zaked has 6
yeah.
hit points.
So that's a one shot. Bad news for Zak. So what's going to happen to Zak is he's going to do what's called go into retreat. So it means goes into retreat. He comes off the table. He loses all the experience he currently has on him, which is a bummer. And he will also lose all the damage. Now he's going to redeploy next turn. So it's not possible in this game for you to knock someone out of the game if that makes any sense.
No,
everybody's going to redeploy. Everybody's in it to the end. So you'll never be in a scenario where you just can't do anything anymore because all your guys are dead. But what it does do, at least I'm sort of lucky here because he chose to hit Zak after I'd already activated him, so I didn't lose in total activation for that, which is nice. But it's still stinky because what that also means is that Asahaba over here gained 3 experience points. She already had 2. So she's not only going to level up to level 1, but now she's 2 more experience back toward level 2. So if you're new, if you're just starting and you missed the whole spiel at the beginning, level 3 heroes give you 1 primacy. It's a big deal. Not to mention the higher his heroes get, the more abilities are available to him that he can spend that pile of resources on to do even more nefarious things to me, which I definitely do not want. So,
yeah. So I actually just unlocked an ability by leveling up called Blood Golem, which gives Asahel a +1 attack, and then I can spend an additional blood point, which is a faction-specific resource, and all enemy heroes and outposts around me will receive 2 damage. So it's a massive AoE attack, plus making her stronger. So huge first level for Asahel.
So Aranthar, he's going to step here, and then he's going to step again. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is so that I can burn Wild Surge, which I'm sure you saw coming, with one of these lumber, and that allows me to cause adjacent resources to reduce, get 2 for that gold, but also get 1 of the lumber. I don't care about the lumber. What I want is the gold because I have a strategy for that. But that ends my turn. And now it's Bobo. Bobo's about to give me more experience because Bobo can't do diddly with me.
So Bob is going to continue attacking Neil's closest outpost. That's his script, and he will continue kind of chipping away at it, hopefully, and doing some damage to it. But this is a very defensive position for Neil. He's got his commander, his commander with 3 defense already.
Plus
in it.
2 outposts.
Yeah. So, Bob rolls a 6. Just a massive number, but Bob does nothing.
Bob does nothing.
And this is huge for Neil too because
I'm farming experience off of Bob.
It allows him to farm experience for doing nothing largely, but it does pin him down. He has not moved from that.
Right, because if I move, Bob's going to take out my outpost. That's the problem. That's how Bob works. So sometimes you can't get in this little loop with Bob, and that's actually a good thing for you. But then Chip can probably swing by and whack Bob pretty much at will if he wants that to stop.
Yep.
So it's not like it's not like this weird thing where it's happening. But what Bob also does, he pins me down. I can't really move away from him without killing him because as soon as I step away, Bob's going to go. I'm going to lose my level 2 outpost. You got a question?
According to Dan Hopper, we are at 31% funded already.
31%.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Killing it tonight.
We are killing it.
Thank you, everyone. We've got over 20 streamers watching. We appreciate all of your pledges. We appreciate your support. If you haven't backed, please back. If you haven't shared, please share. Keep watching the game. We're rounding out turn 3, going into turn 4, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with how Kickstarter economics work, the way that it works is the faster we get funded, the faster we start unlocking stretch goals. Once you start funding and unlocking stretch goals, that drives more people to the project because people get on board. They're like, oh, wow, look at all the cool stretch goals I'm fixing to get. And you get more funded and more stretch goals and more funded and more stretch goals. And that's how you end up with giant boxes full of goodies. So definitely want to fund
32%
as fast as we can. That's the goal tonight. So I feel like I'm on like a Sally Fields like telethon.
Yeah, it's like being on QVC.
Call now. Save the children.
Save the children. Save the cheerleader.
Pledge now. Sockhead needs you.
Sockhead needs you. Save the cheerleader. Save the world.
That's it.
All right.
Okay. So I'm lost. It's like I'm running my mouth to entertain people and then not paying attention to our game. So. Bobo just went, right?
Yeah,
so, all right, sure, go.
All right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to activate Vraska Hall, my commander, who is incredibly tanky right now. He's going to move 1 here and 1 here.
Okay.
Interesting.
How do you get all the resources? I get swamps. Swamp. I mean,
you dealt it, man.
I'm just saying.
So what do I
do? So Chip and I have been playing the game for a long time, so he knows I'm basically hamming it up for the camera here. So what happens is the way the board works out, there's not really any way you can get like board screwed, if that makes any sense. What it does is it changes the way in which you need to play. The random board is huge in this game. It's really hard to describe it until you're going to play it once, and you might be like, I got all the mountains, that's kind of stinky. But ultimately what happens is as you gain skill in the game, you really think about it, it becomes useful. Like, for example, Chip got these, like, dueling mountains, right? Which forces a very small funnel. Now, it would have been hilarious if this or one of these had been like a swamp or something, because what that would do is that would force targeting for me. Like I would have to, it would be like, it's like the 300 Thermopylae, right? Like I have to come through the hole in order to get it, which creates a massive, sort of like defensive barrier for you. So even though I'm joking about the swamps, what that's actually created is a little bit of a hot gates here for me as well, where I can sort of know where Chip's got to come. He can't come this way now, if that makes any sense. So it reduces the amount of defense. But that kind of like sort of like organic thinking, that's what makes 4X strategy so cool, especially this game. There's so much going on. And the random board will force you to change the way you play. You can't. I will say this, after my hundreds of playtest games at this point, if you try to play the same faction the same way twice on two different boards, it's not going to work out for you. You must pay attention to what's going on.
This game, not to like toot our own horn, but has so much replayability just because the board is different, the cards are different, the events that you uncover are different, the player factions that you're playing against are different, and hopefully we can unlock additional factions, additional heroes, additional monsters. The replayability is I think, second to none. So I'm going to take Swing and Bob.
All right.
I'm not sure.
You're going to soften them up for me?
Essentially. But I want you... You know what? I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way.
It's like, come on. All right.
I'm going to take a swing at Oriana.
All right.
It's not going to go well, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to spend a gold to +1 attack again.
All right.
So that'll give me 3. +1 for my flanking bonus.
Yep.
4. And I'm going to...
So Oriana packs 3 defense. She's very defensive. She rolled right straight down the middle. 6.
Okay. And I rolled a 7.
Cool.
So 1 damage to her.
Takes 1 damage. Not enough to move her or anything. She just takes a hit.
And not considered a win for me.
So
in order
she doesn't
for me
get
to win.
experience.
Yeah, in order for me to win, I need to do 2 damage so I don't gain any experience during that. So largely a whiff.
Oriana's past 5. She has no reason to do anything, so she's good. And I'm going to now attack Babo over there.
All right.
With my bear shimmy.
Do it.
Before I do that, naturally, I'm going to go ahead and drop 4 gold. Who built this game? Just because I can. So first of all, I got so much lumber on me right now. I'm gonna shellac it away.
Yeah.
So at any point in time, you can trade 3 of any one resource for 1 of any other resource. Is that my mom? Let's see if she's pledged yet. You all ready? Hold on. You ready?
I'm excited. Are you
Cool
excited?
video. She's in cool video.
Cool video. Mom, but have you played?
She said that earlier.
You know moms, they send the same text message over and over
Come on,
again.
Mom, we're Kickstarter. Half my Kickstarter should be funded by Mom's money right now.
I think so.
So continuing on, I traded in 3 lumber for a gold. I'm going to spend my other 3 gold to use one of Arzea's most powerful abilities, which I unlocked at level 1, which is called the Werebear form. So she willingly transforms into a Werebear, and I happen to have a sweet Werebear mini to replace her with. By the way, this guy right here, he is one of our social media stretch goals.
Yes.
I think he's the Twitter one, right? So
Facebook, Twitter, I'm not sure.
one is either Facebook or Twitter, I can't remember. So if we get 500 bonuses there, we're going to throw this dude in for a
For
Kickstarter
free.
exclusive for free, which is going to be cool. And his only purpose is to represent that Arzela has now transformed into a massive
And it's looking badass.
That's it.
That's his. He has 2 goals. Looking
Yeah,
badass.
that's it. By the way, where the Werebear we were talking about, it came from earlier with our other Kickstarter that we tried last year with the miniature war game. We got a lot of push from people would come by and they'd be like, "Sweet Werebear!" Like it's like I have a Werebear mini, right?
Right.
And so we actually got a lot of interest from. We would have like D&D miniatures players that would come by and they would be like, "How do I get a hold of that Werebear?" And Chip and I were like, "Maybe we should start a Werebear Kickstarter." Like
Just Werebear.
It was like
Pledge
it was
$3
really nice.
to get a Werebear. It may be coming to a Kickstarter near you.
So the Werebear is beast. He's going to give her +2 attack. So I'm going to be beating on poor Bob over there. He's only rolling 2 defense right now and 5 attack.
He can take it. Tom can do it.
So hopefully I just one shot him.
Not like this.
Oh, not like that. All right. So Bob was rolled 5. He's going to do some damage. Remember, I want to kill him because if I don't kill him, he's going to be sitting there with 2 hit points left. We're all activated out at this point. No, I'll have first turn. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. So you don't want to leave him for Chip to be like, "Ooh, Bob's only got 1 hit point. I think I'll go ahead and whack him and get 3 experience." It's a bad move.
What you got? Oh, straight down the middle.
Wow, that's impressive. I just Yahtzeed on 2s.
Yes.
Just for the record, who may knows what Yahtzee is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, -5 is 5. So Babo's got 1 hit point left.
You're dating yourself with that Yahtzee reference. It's,
Am I?
I don't know. Do people still play Yahtzee?
No, I would be dating myself if I said Kismet. I'm dating myself.
I don't even
People still
understand
play
what
Yahtzee.
that is. Nobody plays Yahtzee.
Kismet is like Yahtzee.
If you still play Yahtzee, let us know in the chat. I haven't met a single person that plays
come on,
Yahtzee.
we can go to Target right now and buy a copy.
I'm sure we can, but nobody's going to have dust on it. Nobody's bought it in years. It's going to be old.
Bob's gonna fall
There's
back.
a mouse living in the box.
I'm not gonna chase him because I mean, why leave my fortress, right? Like my fortress.
Fortress.
So the cool part about Werebear is she stays Werebear for the whole game turn, which is pretty cool. Except the game turn just ended.
This is the end of the game.
So we're on to turn 4. So now I had to replace her. But it's all good because I'm gonna be raking in the resources here, and not as fast as I want though. So 2 gold there. I got 1, 2 lumber for that level 2. I'm all about the lumber here, man.
All about
Just pile of
lumber.
I need to start a lumber company.
Time to start teleporting.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So now, one of the things about this is it's funny that Chip's saying this because one of the things that's true about when you're playing against Ramal is it takes Ramal a little bit of ramp up time before they start getting crazy with the teleport. So he's making the joke because he's like, oh, it's time to start teleporting. And what the reality is I'm trying to get around and grab resources and do things before he can really start leveraging all these flanking attacks I'm fixing to suffer. Now, this is true though. So you can see that Chip's been hoarding resources. He doesn't have a lot of gold right now, which I think he forgot to put 2 gold for his level 1 outpost.
I haven't gotten resources yet.
Oh, you haven't got them.
So
So
I'm telling a friend who's currently just picking up his Tesla Model 3. He says he is not looking at the road while it's driving, and so I told him to watch our live stream.
yeah.
Obviously, and back our Kickstarter.
And if he just bought a Tesla level 3, that
to
should,
back our Kickstarter.
that should be equivalent to a $500 pledge level.
I hope he doesn't die because he's not looking at the road. But frankly, it's his fault at this point.
That's it.
All right, so I need to collect resources. I've got 1, 2, 3 gold,
Oh, snap.
1 lumber, and 1.
So one good strategy for fighting against Ramal is I know that he is gold and or heavy. He can't use a lot of his most powerful abilities without access to gold. So gold becomes kind of it's like a commodity for Ramal. Like you need quite a bit of it.
important. Yeah.
And one of the things you can do against Ramal, or against a Ramal player, is to try to snipe out all their gold producers. But unfortunately, he's gotten gold close to his like sort of home zone at this point. It's really hard to penetrate that deep, and so many sections. So
Werner Bourne, shout out. Thanks for backing, Werner. Appreciate it.
So now I'm probably going to get some.
Also, Brian Clark, Ron Kahir, Tom Charles, Mark Arking, Baki Hana, and Owen Best. Thanks for your pledges. We really appreciate that.
Awesome.
Love you.
All right. So
Initiative.
I have initiative, so I'm up.
You need to deactivate.
I do, and I do feel like I need to. I'm focused on what to do with Bob over there because I don't want to leave him hanging because I don't want to give Ross Call a free
You
level.
need to heal 1.
So, and it's weird because I'm the one who's actually low on gold right now. Oh yeah, Zarkhead's back. So back.
Back again.
Oh, we're gonna have another spirit for Oriana to now start blowing things up. That's coming, and I've got to go after Bob. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this tile here. It's a gold tile. Interesting. And I'm gonna go ahead and attack Bob with Arzela and see if I can just take him out.
You're in a vulnerable position.
Ooh. You know what? I forgot to unlock this. I don't know what that is, but I do have them all. So I'm going to go ahead and I did minus 1 cost.
Plot thickens.
Yeah, that's the way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 lumber. I'm going to trade it in for gold and then spend 1 more gold to go ahead and use my active ability to hear my strategy called Maul. Seems befitting. And that means I have to lock this strategy, which I'm totally okay with. And I'm going to go ahead and smack Bob about face. So, Arzela's base 3. She gets +1 attack for wall, and also does +1 damage, which is nice. So Bob's not surviving this, unless I roll like total 1.
Think about it.
All right. Boom. Okay.
Slightly above average.
Denied.
20.
Shellac.
All
So
right.
I'm going to get 3 more experience on Arzela, which is pretty awesome because that is going to make her level 2Z. and I'm going to have 2 experience left over, so she's almost level 3. Pretty good, y'all. And then I'm going to give her a +1 attack, because why not? Which will unlock her level 2 ability, and then I'm going to dive back into the Forest Fortress.
Oh man, I was going to come after you. But now
All right.
I can't.
It is Bob's turn. Oh,
Bob's dead.
so now it's Chip's turn.
All right, what do I want to do? I have some tricks. But I think what I really need to do is just pretty straightforward kill Oriana before she hurts pretty badly. Yeah, I think that's what I got to do. So 1, 2, I'm activating.
It's a good move. So what's going to happen
Little
now is she's
Snake.
getting a double flanking attack because he has 2 guys next to her already, which is going to give Little Snake a base 5 attack, which is really good. And
Yeah.
that's before he decides to choose any specials. Now, that being said, Oriana's got 3 defense, so 5 attack. You figure, for those of your math oriented out there, his expected return now is only about 4 damage. Oriana's got 6 hit points. What he doesn't want to do is leave Oriana with 2 hit points left, because then I will go over there with Zakhead and I will take those and level up.
I played my strategy that also gives me +1 attack. So I have an additional die.
Yeah, so now his expected return is 6, but it's still a crapshoot, right? Like he has to do 6 damage. So we're gonna see how this goes.
All right, so off the jump, I get 3 base, 1 for this flank, 1 for this flank, 1 for my strategy, and then just in case, I do have an ability that will allow me to reroll 3 dice.
Oh wow, you took Fever Dreams.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Cool.
So feel free to roll some dice for Oriana.
She's only level 0 right now, so she's back in 3. He did take Fever Dreams. Oriana rolled very poorly. She only rolled a 5, so he's probably going to slack her right out of the gate.
So that's 5 off the jump.
No, he's got to reroll
That's
something.
So I'm going to use Fever Dreams.
He needs to come up with 1 damage here, folks. 1
Costs
damage.
2 gold and an ore, which is quite expensive.
Quite expensive, but Fever Dreams is going to let him reroll some dice.
So I gotta roll 3 dice, so I'll obviously roll a 2
He's
one.
obviously rerolling the 2 1s and the 2s, and that will do it with flying colors.
Yeah.
So he's pulled about 3, a 2, and a 1 out of that. So Oriana's going to block 5, and then the rest of it's going to shellac her.
5 for her.
So what's going to happen is she's going to leave the spirit, which is actually pretty good for Chip, and she's going to come out. She's going to lose the spirit that she had consumed prior, which means we don't have to worry about her going all beast mode on us or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Chip's going to get 3 experience, which is going to help out Little Snake, and we're good. So my go. The AI and the monsters are currently off the table, so it's just me and Chip now. And this is usually where things get kind of aggressive. Because what happens is now, like, we don't have any monsters to pick on for, like, easy XP. So now we have to, like, kind of pick on each other. But I'm feeling a little weak right now. Feeling Zakhead hasn't been doing well. He got pretty beat up. All right, so Zakhead's going to go ahead and move. He's going to unlock some trees, some happy trees, more trees. So apparently I have the plains and the woods. That's what I got. If we were playing Magic, I would have a white and green deck right now. That's how that would go.
But nobody plays Magic anymore, right?
They don't?
No, everyone plays
I was
Magic.
about to say, Magic's huge.
Everyone plays Magic. Shout out to all the Magic players.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something different, check this game out. Pledge again.
So I'm just activating and marking it. It's one of those things where, like, when you very first play the game, you need to be very meticulous about activating so that other players know what's going on. But when you played it 100 times at this point, like, you don't worry about it so much because it's like, I know who's gone and who hasn't. Chip's paying attention. So
Yeah, sure. Paying attention to our background.
I moved everything. Oh man, he's standing in front of the computer. He totally saw that.
We're up to 40 backers.
40 backer.
Yes, Richard JC, thank you for pledging. We appreciate you. That is 40 backers so far tonight.
40 backers. Save the children. Pledge.
We are 1 pledge away from $6,000. So if you know somebody that likes 4X strategy games, that likes tabletop minis, that likes anything that you see going on right now, tell them to back. They will be our pledge that push us over $6,000.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Very cool. Yeah. So let's go with. I'm activating Old Zok. Old Zok moved.
Okay.
Because I'm so low on gold. It's painful.
Yeah, me too. Gold is, despite the number of gold mines.
It's all over here. I'm having an issue with that. I think, boy, if I move Zoc there, you're just going to kill him again. You might kill him again anyway.
It could happen.
No, I'm gonna. I really want to see what's under this tile. Like that's what's I'm debating, right? So because I know that all the planes are gone.
I know.
Right. So it's like a 50% chance right now that it's going to be something pretty good.
Could be a demon.
And if it's a house, that would be pretty sweet.
Could be a demon.
A demon would be hilarious right now, given the number of heroes that's standing around him. So who cares? We're on a live stream.
Do it.
We're going for it.
Do it. It's a demon.
All right. So here's how demons work. First of all, they come on the table and they have a little token, and he's going to. I'm sorry, I had the arc demon on there. So he's going to attack Zoc for stepping into the tile. Demons have 3 attack. Poor old Zoc's only got 1 defense, which is pretty common for tribes. And he's just going to attack me straight up. So I rolled a 1 naturally. So Zoc's fixing to go into retreat. That's what's fixing to happen here.
So he's got 3 attacks,
Mm-hmm.
and he rolls a 7. Which is exactly how much.
Enough just says I'm making a retreat. Oh, epic fails. Okay.
Zach loves retreating. That's his MO
Yeah.
this game.
So the way demons work is, and this is kind of cool. So it's another monster type that appears on the board, and at the end of the game turn, he's going to attack everyone who's standing around him, which is going to be pretty awesome. If Chip doesn't kill him. Now the thing about killing him, he's worth 3 experience by himself. So and he's not that tough. Our demons are a lot tougher because they come in with 8 hit points and they have 4 defense. They're a lot harder to get rid of.
4 attack, 2 demons.
Yeah, but a normal no, these are 3 and 2. The other one's 4 and 3. Yeah, it's pretty gross. So it's gonna be funny. We'll see what happens. So, all right. That was I'm saddened by that deeply. So.
Me too. Just kidding. Not
All right.
Sad.
Sad,
Not sad. All right. So I am going to.
My counter here on the plot meter.
I'm gonna do what Neil just said. He predicted my move. I'm going to try to attack the demon. I'm going to use Razgahal, my commander, who I will activate.
Oh, we got a lot of comments. Something happened.
What happened? I've seen all I need. This is awesome. Have a good night, Dan.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for pledging. We hope you tell everyone you know. Tell people that you meet on the street.
Go to the mountains, Dan.
Climb onto the roof of your house and yell as loud as you can to coming back this game.
Don't do
If you fall, don't fall. I am going to do something cool.
Or if you get arrested.
I'm going to try something funny. So I'm going to play Born in the Darkness.
Born in the darkness. Yeah, so you're going to hear a lot of language between Chip and I. So we're sort of the co-founders of Happy Gorilla. So we've been playing this game since its inception, which, by the way, we put some pictures up on our Kickstarter which show you what the game looked like, where we were basically photoshopping in Settlers of Catan for planes and gold, like that was our original board when we were conceptualizing the game. And so we have a lot of running jokes. I mean, we've spent hours together, hundreds of hours playing a game with someone, you know blows the inside jokes. So one of them is the Born in Darkness special ability. So every time both of us hear that now, it's like all we hear is Bane for Batman 3 in our head. Going, I was born in the darkness.
Do it, Dan. That's right, Matt McCullough. Tell him.
All right, so what Born in the Darkness is it allows me to place one friendly hero adjacent to another friendly hero, and if I wanted to, I could spend a blood point to bring a 3rd hero over. So what that will allow me to do is suck my blood mage from here over to here, thus giving me a triple flanking bonus against the demon.
Here comes the teleports.
Yeah, so now you'll see the true power, the true tricks of
the true power of this battle station. All right.
You're a nerd.
Did I ever claim to not be?
All right, so I start with.
I'm playing a 4X strategy game on camera. That's pretty qualified.
I don't know what you're talking about. So I start with 2 base attacks. I have 1 and 1 flanking bonus plus my strategy gives me a hit. That will give me 5 dice.
Is this little stick?
No, this is Ross.
Twin blades. All right. So
mini blades. Oh wait, hold on.
What's going on? Forget about that.
Yeah, I'm going to turn in 3 lumber.
3 lumber.
3 ore, which will give me 1 gold.
Yeah.
Spend the gold to also Ultimate Warrior. Now we're rolling 6 dice. I really want this point. I need to level up my commanders. And I roll like gangbusters.
Yeah, you
don't even roll.
That's not even. I'm rolling anyway. I don't care what you say.
All right. So you suck 5 out. I'll take those out. I shellac you.
Demon is bad.
Well, not you. So the demon is dead.
3 XP.
Long live the demon. So that'll give me my first level. And I will make him stronger, more powerful, faster, more capable. And I will move up because I want to keep pressing my advantage onto Neil. Plus, she's already activated. And so she cannot retaliate.
That's right. So, all right. So my go here. Aaron Thar's out to play, so I'm going to go ahead and press forward with Aaron Thar. And unfortunately, Aaron Thar is really not strong enough to fight Gross. He's certainly not strong enough to fight Finblades when he has a bonus 2 defense. So I'm going to go ahead and drop 3 ore because I haven't really been using it much, and trade that in with this gold for a house for Aaron Thar. Now, Aaron Thar is a builder just like Asahaba is. As we explained before, builders gain experience by building, which is pretty cool. So he's going to get a little bit of XP, and we are good to go.
I think that's it, right? Oh no, I've got one more.
Officially, this beer is.
So we'll finish out this round, and then we'll get some new beers, some new resources.
Yep.
So I'm going to. What do I want to do?
That's what we need. We need a way to take a break. So this live stream needs like a dancing bear.
A dancing bear?
So it's come around.
Neil, I forgot to mention it to you. You're going to need to dance for a few minutes while I go eat my sandwich.
I am kind of shaped like a big bear.
It is kind of like a bear. So I'm going to use my other I'm going to claim it next turn. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take. God, what am I going to do? I have no idea. I'm going to move here, and I'm going to spend 3 lumber to get a gold, and then 3 ore and then gold to play Blood Golem. That will give Asahara +1 attack, and I will spend a blood point so that all enemy heroes and outposts adjacent to me receive 2 damage. Boom!
Okay.
Blood Golem.
All right.
2 for her. 2 for your outpost.
The house is -2 right now.
Yep, and so then I'm going to attack. And so I have 3. So I have 2 for her. +1 for Blood Golem. +1 for the flank. +1 for the strategy.
All right.
So be it then.
You have a lot of defense, though, don't you?
Yes, I'm packing in right now. She's at was just 5. I think we're even.
Okay.
Right now, so
My goal is really just to take your house.
I know.
I will live so your strategy.
And of course,
And
strategy
these are all-
rolls.
And my strategy continues to work.
All right, this is a PG-13 stream.
Out and around.
Oh, man. All right, well, it was fun while it lasted.
All right. So that's the XP's please. All right. So that's it. We're done. We're on the game turn. Was that 5? Or was that 4 or 5?
That was 4, so now we're at 5.
All right.
I'll take initiative. Clear off.
Everybody's unlocked. Old sock cat's back again.
Heal if you need to.
So who's back? Back there again. Monsters are flipped, ready to go. Got another counter on my wild meter, which I will stick with to unlock my 3rd ability, which is Thunderstorm. Everybody loves Thunderstorm.
Thunder. Na, 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 na. Thunder. I don't know. Have you ever played that drinking game?
What?
Thunder. So the song,
The thong?
the song, Thunderstruck by AC/DC. So one person starts drinking, and they keep drinking until the next time they say thunder, and then the next person drinks. And it's literally just drinking in a circle. What they don't tell you is that if you're like the 5th or 6th person, there's like a minute interlude
Oh no.
where there's just guitar and no words.
Where it's like,
Yeah, and so you're like, oh god, no.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's
So
a
you
trap.
said I'm in the middle of a D&D campaign right now. We're playing a Tempest Cleric, and that's like my mantra right now. Every time I do it.
Thunderstruck?
Yeah.
All right, so I got 3 gold, 1 ore, and we need more beer.
Need more beer. I need a break. We need a live stream break. How do we take a live stream break?
You take a break. I'll keep entertaining.
All right. You dancing. I got to dance in where?
Yes. Put the word right. Yeah. So I'll explain what's happening so far. So no break for you. Matt McCullough is a harsh mistress.
Matt, I'm taking a break.
Matt, I'm here for you. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. So for those of you who have just started watching, for the 30 or so players we've got watching, so Neil and I are playing a 2-player game. I am playing the Removal Nations. He's playing the Great Forest Tribes. We are in a epic battle. You can see we're all kind of clustered in the middle. And it is a very close game. At this point, I think, so it's 5-4 in terms of total score. We're on turn 5. We're like literally straight down the middle. And it's really, it's anybody's game. We do have both AI monsters off the board right now, but they will both come on next turn. And there is plenty of carnage for them to wreak. So it's going to be exciting. But just more broadly, really appreciate everybody that's pledged so far. Really appreciate everybody that is watching, that has shared. If you haven't shared already, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Twitter feed, share it on Board Game Geek. Check us out on any of our social media pages. We've also got some social media stretch goals. If we get a couple hundred likes, Neil and I are going to get super drunk and play. There's a possibility that we mock battle to the death. And if we get 1,000 likes on Board Game Geek, we're going to fly out to demo the game to somebody's local game store. So would love to do that. Would love to get out and show more people the game and just have an opportunity to meet some of our backers. And I think, you know, if you can play this game, you would see how exciting it is. You would see how awesome it is. And again, sponsored by Stargate. We are up to 40 backers now. So 40 backers, putting us at $5,953. I'm going to click the refresh button. We'll see exactly what we're at. We have crossed the $6,000 mark. So again, thank you for everybody that's pledged. $6,000. So far, we've been going live for about an hour and a half now. That is massive for us. We are a small game studio located just outside of Washington, D.C. $6,000.
And we will be actually demoing this game Wednesday night at Dream Wizards, which is Dream Wizards,
Rockville,
which is not far from us. And then Friday night will actually be at Crystal City at the shops there. There's a big board game meetup. Yep, it meets up there, which you should check out regardless of us. There's like, gosh, last time there was almost 50 people.
There was a ton of people.
Yeah,
I was amazed.
They have stacks of board games to come play. So
a guy brought a wagon of board games.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Amazing.
And if you are entertained right now, also keep in mind that I believe our first 100, I think it's likes on Facebook.
Likes, literally the easiest stretch goal.
The Chip and I have committed that we will have to get hammered and then come in and live stream. So if you're entertained now, just wait for that.
I can only imagine.
So that won't go well.
For you.
All right.
So we are at turn 5.
Turn 5.
It is my turn.
It is your initiative.
I feel like I have the upper hand here. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah. I'd have liked to have gotten some more experience by this point in the game, but both of us are pretty low, so I'm not hating it too much. I am liking the fact that our Zayla is pretty beefed up.
She's almost level 3. I need to kill her. I need to figure out how to do that. All right, so
about to unleash the Arctic wind, though.
I know, that's why she needs to die. She needs to die. I think it's time. I think it is time. Let me know if you agree or any comments. You don't have to do that.
I gotta get all the lumber. I got the lumber, fields of lumber.
All right, so what I'm going to do, and I hope it works, is first, I'm going to play Born in the Darkness for a gold, a lumber, and an ore.
All right. Our Kickstarter is also successful if every time someone hears Born in the Darkness.
I was born in the darkness.
They say that.
Sorry, I'm activating the Twin Blades.
Born in the Darkness.
He is Born in the Darknessing the little snake over here.
I'm by Lincoln and Decker Kane
At the same time. Did you see they're coming out?
Jimmy Stewart, yeah.
They're coming out with a Diablo live action show.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that?
I don't know, but I really want to know who they cast to be Deckard Cain.
Yeah. Okay.
I was born in the darkness.
Live action, so.
Yes. Supposedly. So
I'm not sure I dig that concept. Like right out of the gate, I'm like trying to understand how that works.
no, I think it could go
He's
either
the
way.
hero, like, okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go gain some levels.
I mean, no, you just watch him grind like Pinwheels for an hour. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right.
So I'm going to attack you, and to do so, I'm going to start with my 3 base die. I'm going to play Ultimate Warrior with a gold
Saw that coming.
to get 4, and then I have 2 flanking bonuses, 5, 6, and then I'm still on the strategy that gives me another one, so that is 7. I think that's it. Is that it? Do I have more? No, I think that's it.
So I'm sure you saw this coming. I'm going to be burning some reactives.
7 dice coming
So the first reactive is, unfortunately, I can't use Werebear, which I really want to do. So what I'm going to end up doing is using Ranger Escort, which is going to lock this card. So Ranger Escort, if you're wondering why it's called Ranger Escort, is, again, I was telling you about the lore of Great Tribes earlier. So they have Rangers, which is pretty common, like a pretty common fantasy trope.
Yeah.
But in the Great Tribes, as in most of our game lore, things aren't, we're not talking about like Aragon here, like, Rangers, what their job is nobody wants to be a ranger. It's more like akin to getting sent to the wall in Game of Thrones, right? Like nobody wants to do it, and it's their job to prowl the woods and keep people safe. And by keeping people safe, that means killing all the mutated monsters. And a lot of rangers don't live very long, so nobody volunteers for ranger service. But that's where it comes out.
It's a hard job, but somebody needs to do it.
So I get -1, so obviously I'm going to do the -1 on the gold, so I can spend the lumber instead. So Ranger Escort's going to bump me up. 2 defense. 2 defense. 2 defense.
Man, you're gonna roll a ton of dice.
We're going to let you run for roll first, and I will roll after you.
All right, so 7 dice coming at you. That was a hell of a roll.
That's pretty good.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17.
17 damage.
Yeah, 17.
That is legit. So she's base 5. I'm going to be rolling 7, right?
All right.
So this is just a straight up tit for tat here. We'll see how this goes. 17 damage he has inflicted. I blocked 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So she's going to take 2, which is going to go right on the house.
If you win the combat.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to add the house in there. I take no damage on the combat.
Oh, thanks for the free XP.
Killing me.
Killing me, Smalls.
All right.
All right. That is ridiculous. This game, who built this game?
You've been waiting to say that on live stream forever, right? Who built this crappy game?
That is one of the things, right? Like, so Neil has put himself in an incredibly defensive position.
Yep.
But of course, like, he's also about to cast one of his abilities that is going to just be game changing. And so, like, I needed to take a chance. I burnt literally. I have 3 resources left.
Yep.
I burnt everything I had. I thought I rolled well, and he
I'm
just.
fixing to come back
it
at you
works.
because I'm 1 experience point away from leveling up.
I know. That's why I wanted to kill you.
And once she packs level 3, I get a primacy for it, permanent primacy, and she's going to be just a total monster. So
She's going to wreck face.
I need to attack him. I need to get that experience while I can. So my process now is I'm deciding which hero to attack, and it looks like it's probably going to end up being Little Snake because she has the lowest defense value, so I'm most likely to do 2 damage to her.
Mhm.
But Chip, luckily, so for me too, as Ramal, we talked about this earlier with Ramal. Ramal's all about taking gambles, right? If you're not a gambler, you probably don't want to play Ramal.
Do not play Ramal.
Because Ramal's all about, like, they don't have a lot of resource gainers, so it's really hard for them to stay in function. Now, their abilities are powerful. The ability to teleport around, they can move guys, they can dish out some pretty serious damage, but it costs them a lot. So you have to be a gambler. Sometimes they pay, and sometimes they do not. That's how it goes. So I'm going to attack Little Snake, and the reason why I said all that is because I know that he really doesn't have enough resources to teleport away from me right now. Although he does have a spirit, so if he chose to spend it, he could immediately get 3 of any resource, and it might help him out. But either way, I will cost him. So I'm going to go ahead and attack Little Snake with Arzela. And gosh, she's packing 4 attack base. Gosh, I could attack Frost, but see, Frost has got 4 defense right now, which is no joke. And I'm going to stick with Little Snake. It's not worth the bonus, but I am going to go ahead and activate Maul.
Shout out to Keith Weiss. Thank you for backing. 42 backers. Appreciate everybody.
And I'm going to burn all my resources too because I'm trading in for that gold, that precious gold. Both Chip and I are just totally gold starved right now.
3 fight.
I'm attacking Little Snake because I feel like it's my best bet. Okay. But we'll see how that goes. So, switching them all. So she's going to be packing 3 deck base +1 for her level. When I hit level 2, or earlier, I gave her +1 attack. And the Maul is giving me +1 dice. So I'm rolling 5 dice at Little Snake.
She has 2 defense.
Now remember, my goal here is I just want to do 2 damage to her. If I can do 2 damage to her, I'm level 3, and I'm happy. Like, I don't need to kill her right now. It's not that big of a deal to me. What is a big deal is anytime you can get a hero to level 3, go for it. Because once they're level 3, they're locked in. You don't have to worry about experience anymore. You don't have to worry about anything, and you get a primacy for it, which is unremovable primacy. So it's really good. Yep. So here we go. 4. I rolled awfully, but I didn't do more than 4. So I did 4 damage total.
Yep.
So that'll do it. If you don't got anything to block with, which you probably don't.
No, I locked it already.
Yep. All right, cool. So that's going to make her level 3, which is huge for me.
So
that bumps me up a permanent primacy, which is pretty awesome. And then I think I'm going to stick with defense right now. She's
a tank.
She's been working. Yeah, like this is uncommon for the Bear Shaman. Usually I'm going all attack.
Yeah. I've got a trend going. I have not fixed any defense.
Yes, I can see that. All right, so that was it. Here we go.
My turn? Mm-hmm. All right. I need to pick on somebody my own size. So what am I going to do? So I'm going to go...
Pick on Sock again somewhere. Poor Sock.
Poor Sock. So I'm going to activate Little Snake, and she is going to move over onto the Spirit Well, and I'm going to try to attack the Chieftain, who is, in all things considered, weak at this point.
Relatively. Yeah.
So 3 attack base.
Yeah.
1 for my level.
Yeah.
1 for a flank.
Now it's a good time for him to attack too. So another really strong strategy here is once you've seen that people are low on resources, which I am, we both are. We both just had 2 big resource spender turns, so we're both strained right now. Yeah. I've only got 3 resources left, and if he's really paying attention, he's noticed that I've also locked my defensive tree, so I really have no way to avoid or block damage. So at this point, he's just like, you know what, I'll just pile dice on you, and who cares? If I kill you, great. If I don't, I still get some XP. He's probably going to kill my house. It's going to bring me back down. It's just like, it's a good way. It's a good positive play no matter what he does.
I'm catching him while he's vulnerable.
So Arnthar only has 2 defense +1 for the house. He's rolling 3. Oh.
Well, so far.
Straight average though, right? Like, yeah, nothing but 3s and 1s. Same as 2s. So I rolled also average, so that is a 6. So I blocked 6. So you've done 6 damage. He's dead. No, 3 to the house. 3 to the house. 3 to the house.
So I'm going to use this to get gold and ore.
Okay.
So 2 ore and gold. And I'm going to spend 2 gold and 1 ore to play Fever Dreams. I'm going to reroll these.
Okay. Oh, no.
Right. Well, I do 1 extra damage.
Sadness. So the house is dead, and he's going to take 4, which is not bad. But what Chip was hoping for was a KO there. He was hoping for a KO to get the 3 experience.
Did not get it.
He did not get it. He re-rolled 3 1s and got a 1-1-2. Sad day.
Sad day. On the right side, we are now at 43 backers.
Awesome.
Continuing our awesome opening night. Thanks to everybody that's pledged so far. Thanks for your support. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep following.
I'm drinking now. I'm drinking Maple Brown Ale.
Maple Brown Ale. How is it?
I do not like it. Oh my God.
Do you feel like it is fall?
No. It tastes like a better Yingling, if that makes any sense.
But you don't like it?
No.
How do you feel about regular Yingling?
It's bad. Like, obviously, right?
All right. We're also here doing beer commentary. So if you have any beer recommendations, let us know.
It's fair enough because, believe it or not, we live around the DC area, and the DC area is like a breeding ground for breweries.
Everywhere.
There's just there's literally like 50 breweries.
There's like one in my neighborhood.
Yeah,
There's like
I
a
mean,
woman brewing out of her
it's
house.
like it's kind of like I mean, people start breweries in their basement next door, like the way that people start like meth labs.
Like, with slightly less damaging consequences.
It doesn't have to worry about your house blowing up next to you.
Right, exactly. I hope, right? Breweries don't blow up.
I don't think so. I think we're good on that. So, all right. So Aaron there survives, but he does have to back up. So I'm going to back up in the house.
Yep.
For defense, and Chip can choose to move forward if he wants. He probably doesn't, because that's going to give me the massive flanking attack of doom if he chooses to do so. So that's it for that. So it's my go. Oh, poor Zoc.
What you gonna do when we come forward?
Nobody's.
I'm gonna take a quick pause
Yep,
while
yep.
Neil contemplates his move.
Contemplation. So, Zoc, poor Zoc, what's he going to do? I'm having an issue struggling with a strategy about what to do with Zoc, because although he can do a lot of damage, I've invested in Arzela, so now she's level 3, which is a huge benefit for me. But because of that, my other two characters are level 0. They're not very strong. So I can try to move around. I really want this gold pile right now because we are both starved for gold. And if I end up with a gold advantage on him, I won't anyway, because he's got multiple gold factories here. That's bad news for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate. I'm going to activate Aranthar, and he's going to back up one. And I'm going to spend this one lumber to once again use Wild Surge over here on my strategy, which is going to allow me to generate resources from 2 adjacent squares, which is going to give me that gold that I desperately need and a little bit more lumber. Now, what's going to happen with that is I want to go ahead and move Aranthar forward again. I'm going to spend 1 lumber into gold. One gold and 2 lumber to go ahead and upgrade that bad boy right there, also to level 2. Now, one thing that I just looked down and I saw, because as I was doing this move, I looked down and I happened to look. Now, there is a maximum number of outposts you can build and upgrade to, and it is literally by the wooden houses. So the most level 1 houses you can have on the table are equivalent to whatever is in the box, right? So I only have 1 level 2 house left, and I was taking a glance down because I was saying to myself, man, I don't know if I want to do that or not, because I want that extra level 2 house. But I'm still going to stick with it, and the reason why I'm doing it is because it's going to give him a little bit of a defense boost in case Chip attacks me. He's also a builder, so he's going to gain 1 experience, which I desperately need right now. And I think that's going to be it for me. So,
I'm back.
He's back. So I was going to say, too, that as we get into this, I mentioned earlier that we have like almost 600, I think we're almost up to 600 pages on our lore wiki now.
It's a ton.
I mean,
yeah.
Like, we went way overboard on lore, but not only because we wanted a real world.
Yeah, we want world building is fun, too.
Real world. Yeah. We didn't want a fake one. We didn't want like a just this like super surface level story.
Superficial.
Yeah, it's like we wanted a real story, so we got one. And the story behind this game, the reason why we're fighting over this thing called Spirit Well is because there was an event that took place in recent current history. So the current timeline is currently 5 years after what they say was the Cataclysm.
Yeah.
And the Cataclysm was this big event where magic was seeping into the world at a rate that was too fast. And this entity called the Reaper comes forward. And he's not a real entity. It's a force of nature, but the people of Indagar believe he's an entity. He comes forward, and he sort of rends the earth, the very earth. Now, before this time, the only spirit well known to all of humanity was owned by these guys called the Republic. And they had been waning in power for some time. And when the Cataclysm happened, it actually split the earth and caused wells of magic to appear throughout various parts of Indagar. So at this point, before, where the Republic kind of held like a monopoly on magic, and they used that power to generate wealth, they were able to sort of take the entire continent of Indagar in the world and make it into a single political entity.
Yeah.
Which,
a grand republic.
And they wanted it to be that way because this political entity, this continent of Indagar, it has enemies across the ocean. legit ones.
There is the rest of the world.
Yes, there's the rest of the world.
This is taking place on the continent
of
of Indagar,
Indagar.
but there is a world
Yeah, there's a
around
whole
it.
world around them full of people that don't necessarily like the Republic.
Right.
And what's happened is when all these new spirit wells got created, all these other minor powers that were sort of encapsulated by the Republic, not only did the Cataclysm blow up the Republic's capital city, which pretty much brought the government down, now you have all these warring factions that are like, I can get my own spirit well. Like, this is pretty amazing, right? Like, so suddenly, after 1,000 years of basically war not being done away with, they were still fighting outside of their own country, but the whole
Largely
the
peaceful.
civilizations of Indagar had sort of come together. Now all of a sudden there's this huge power vacuum. There's suddenly magic freely available, and they were
And there's
it
chaos.
quickly deteriorates. Yeah, like, and that's what we're fighting over right now. These spirit wells are basically the army. So like Ramal nations, these are our desert people. They live in the south eastern portion of Indagar. There's a massive desert down there. They've lived down there since all time immemorial. Actually, we're playing the old factions.
That's
right
true.
now.
Yeah,
Like,
these are the originals.
yeah, these are like the natives
the natives.
of
Yeah.
Indagar, whereas every other faction is some sort of immigrant, basically. And the Great Forest tribes and the Ramal nations, up until this point, have been fairly friendly to each other. They trading practice between each other for the better part of, well, since pre-written history. And at this
1,000
point,
years plus.
but once the spirit well and the magic and all that money and all that power and the huge power vacuum, I mean, and it's a big deal. So here they are. That's how it works. So it's kind of fun. I think we got another comment in there. I can't read what it said.
Yeah, Keith Weiss, thank you for backing. Says the game looks really good. Love the IP.
Awesome.
So that's what we're talking about right now. Is
Yeah.
the IP. If you guys like the IP, like Neil said, check out our wiki. It is available at happygorillagamestudios.com/wiki. There is a crap ton of information.
And by the
there.
way, if you are like super interested in world building, we are constantly looking for someone to help us with world building.
Yeah, if you like building worlds, let us know.
Yeah, if you're like
We'd love to bring on
if you're
someone.
like the uber epic dungeon master for your D&D group and you just love to build worlds, we would love to talk to you. So anyway, let's move on.
Do it.
So I moved Aaron Thar, he moved over, I generated some resources and he moved back.
It's my go then.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to. God, what am I going to do? I'm going to do nothing. So I'm going to run away.
Running away, are you?
I'm going to play Sand Sea Shipment, which is free. I misplayed that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll gain 2 ore. Bang. And I am going to get no, that's it. I'm done.
All right, so it's back on me now. All I got left is poor old Zoc.
It's getting bullied all game.
I know, usually he's a monster, and like
Not
just-
today.
It's not today,
Gotta give him some of that maple beer.
right?
He lives in the trees. He'd like it.
Probably make him angry. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. He'd probably just be mad about it. Like, speaking of IP, the Berserker, which is Zoc Ked, is a human who has been overcome by magic and has sort of half mutated.
Yeah.
So some
Good
bodies,
half.
some bodies are more apt to just mutate into a total freak show monster. And then some people have bodies that are more resistant to magic. And when you get inundated by the wild, they what's up?
We got 2 more backers.
Awesome.
Shout out to Chris Musgrove. Shout out to Benjamin Adams Cash. Ben Cash, we love you. Thank you.
Awesome. I like that. Big cash.
Ben Cash. He's a Dream Wizards player.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Big time
Okay.
Dream Wizards
So we'll
player.
see him on Wednesday.
We'll see him on Wednesday.
All right, cool. So here we go. I'm moving Zoc Ked. I'm gonna go ahead and activate him. Not a lot going on, but I'm just gonna try to get some. I'm just gonna try to get some XP here. So I'm just gonna attack Little Snake.
All right. So
I'm gonna go ahead and burn my sole remaining gold piece for
wow.
Berserkers. So I'm just bringing 4 dice at you.
I've got 2 in return.
Yep.
Lowly.
Oh, this could be devastating.
Bad news
This
bears.
could be devastating. This could be a game changer right here.
Oh man.
Come on, 3s. Come on, 3s. Nothing but. Oh.
You still do a lot.
Still
of
4 damage.
4 damage.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
All right.
I busted her up pretty bad.
Still a lot of damage to my
Old
assassin.
Zoc gets an XP.
Do you want to take
Not really.
it?
It is the end of the game turn. I am going to get to go first.
Yeah.
I'm taking it. Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
doing it. I'm doing
Do it.
All right. So that's the end of the game turn.
So everybody unactivates. Your strategies unactivate. You heal.
Oh,
And very importantly, we've got some monsters coming back.
Yeah, we do. Both of them.
Ariana's coming back.
And
I got him, right?
Bob's level 2 now.
Bob's level 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was pissed.
Yeah. So I'm getting lots of I'm just rolling in lumber over here. It's ridiculous.
For anybody that's just joining us, we have an AI in this game, and we have 2 AI monsters. They were previously killed, but they have returned from the undead. We have Helgoth the Marauder over here, Oriana the Enchantress over there, and they are rejoining the battlefield to wreak havoc. Alright, so I gotta get some resources. I've got 3 gold. I need to start building, I think. I think my strategy is going poorly. 3
So
gold.
nobody's mined yet, so that Spirit Well is worth moolah right now, which is why I wanted to go there last turn.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Because I have first turn, which means I'm going to snag both of those.
Yep.
And immediately get a permanency point, which is what I'm going to go for. So definitely activating Zaked. I mean, that's just too good to pass up, right? That's just bird in hand, right? So Zaked, he's going to be useful this game. He's going to grab those 2 spirit. I'm going to immediately transfer him in for primacy, which is going to put me at 6 down. And then he's just going to haul tail over to this house over here to protect himself. So
cool.
That's it. So Bob's up, and Bob's back. I've got 5 houses. Chip's currently got 4, so he's coming after me again. Oh no! He's minimum 4 damage now, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, the pain. All right, so he's going to roll, and I'm going to roll to defend. He's not going to hurt me. There's just no way. But he is going to blow up my house, which is pretty bummerific. But he's not going to force me back. He's not. Yeah, he's not doing anything with that.
You can't even fail.
I can't even fail. So he is going to do the minimum of 4 damage. So he's going to wreck that house. Now he doesn't push me back, so the house is just going to downgrade to a level 1, which is okay. But he's going to wreck it next turn if I don't put the beating on him. The problem is that every time Bob comes back, he's a little bit stronger. Not only is he doing more minimum damage, he has more defense now. So now he's packing 3 defense, which means Arzela's probably not going to be able to kill him in 1 hit. And that's going to be a little bit annoying. And I would love to go there and reinforce with a flanking bonus, except I have the Swamps of Mordor over here that I can't get around. And Chip's over here blocking the path. So that's a kind of a bummer for me. But okay, so that's it for Bob. So you're up.
All right.
By the way, if you're just joining us and we keep saying Bob, the word Bob is, and I've said this 3 times now, but it's this is Helgoth the Marauder, and for some reason during early playtesting we nicknamed him Bob the Builder. I don't know why. He burns outposts. He doesn't even build them. I don't understand.
He builds nothing except distrust.
But at this point, the name sticks, right? I can't not call him Bob.
So did we expect you to call him Bob too? Just kidding. Call him whatever you want.
Call him Sally if you want to. You can call him whatever you want. Just pledge for the game.
Cool. So Bob's done. I'm going to. What do I want to do? This is turn 6.
Yeah.
Did you choose a strategy?
I did. I'm sticking with this one because I'm fixing to get another primacy from it. So
bold, sir.
Bold. Trying to go for the quick stab here.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. Is I need to make it rain pain.
Now, what I am doing by choosing this, though, is I'm not able to unlock another tree, so I'm taking a little bit of risk here, but I want the primacy because I'm already sitting at 6, and Tribes is very good at, in 1 turn, very quickly, just building a bunch of outposts and sort of trying to hit that 10, sort of like a trick shot kind of thing. So.
And knowing that, because I have played this game more than anyone, I think, in the world, I'm going to do something dastardly.
Dastardly.
So I am using my raid strategy. My raid strategy gives me +1 movement, and I'm going to blow up all of his houses this turn.
Okay.
Every one of them. Not just kidding. Most of them. So 1, 2, 3.
and I will attack that.
Yeah, liking it. So he's going to get an XP for that because there's no way my house is surviving this.
Nope.
Well, no, you're only rolling. Well, you're rolling 3 attack. It's possible. It's possible. You have to roll like awful.
Not that bad.
But it's. I mean, I've seen you do it. You know what I mean?
It has happened before.
So all right, this house is dead. That's going to monk me down.
Yep.
And it's also going to give him XP.
Yep.
Which is a bummer.
And I'm going to chase into it.
We'll chase into it. All right.
Am I gonna? Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. If I play more confidently, that'll help.
Okay.
Your turn.
I'll keep that in mind. So
No, Oriana. Sorry.
yeah, Oriana's going to go. She's up. Boom. She's done. That's one thing that I like about the game is the AI is very fast. It doesn't detract from the game at all. It only adds like this extra layer of strategy to it.
I think it is the most important part of our game. I think this is the thing that is like it changes everything you I don't know. So there's this phrase, I don't know if you've ever heard it, but you have a plan and then you get punched in the face. Like no good plan survives first contact
with the enemy. Yeah,
right.
That's
So
right.
Mike Tyson rephrased it. He says everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Funny is you'll get to, especially in a 4-player game with more boardroom,
Oh yeah.
where you'll get over there and you're being aggressive toward like 2 players or whatever, and your whole backfield is empty, and then Helgoth just comes in and he's just wrecking everything back there, and you're just like, you don't want to turn around because if you turn around, you lose the initiative. You know, you're pushing forward, but at the same time, are you really going to let him just kill everything? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
you literally you can.
Mhm.
It's the pinnacle of like deep strategy, and I love it.
So speaking of Bob,
2 more backers. Dom M. I think that's Dom Metzger. Awesome, Dom. Thanks for pledging. And then Ravnos Phantom. What a name.
what is it?
Ravnos Phantom.
That can't be a real name.
I hope it is a real
I
name.
hope it's a real name.
Ravnos, awesome name. Thanks for pledging. Really appreciate it. We're nearing 50 backers. If you know 2 people, have those people tell 2 people. We'll start a pyramid scheme.
It'd be like Amway.
For Girl Scout cookies.
Or Girl Scout cookies.
Right.
There you go.
Have a friend tell a friend.
Awesome. So let's move on. So I've only got 1 act. No, I've got 2. So Arzale hasn't gone yet. I really need to get rid of Bob. This is what we were talking about before with Bob pinning me. This is what's happening right
You
now.
have not moved off that tile.
It's frustrating, and I really want to get over there and flip this tile because here's another secret to AI. If I can flip something like a mountain that's impassable, Bob's done. I don't have to deal with him ever again.
You lock his home
and
snare.
that's huge.
He's done.
Or if it's a resource, I can just build a house on it, and that will block Bob from redeploying, which is amazing. And I really want to do it, but I don't. He's just gonna. If I don't kill him, he's gonna wreck my house. There's nothing I can do.
I think you sacrifice the house. I think you have to.
She's pretty tanky by herself. Like she's only 3 defense right now. No, 4. My gosh, she's my commander. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to take a swing at him. That's kind of my other issue. You know what I mean? But I'm just gonna see what happens. Forget it, right? We're on a live stream. Let's see what happens. So I'm flipping, and it is +1 attack. Oh my goodness! All right, so
That changes
Arzale just
everything.
rolled a +1 attack token.
So that is like where we had earlier. We had the armor cache. This is a weapons cache.
Weapons cache.
So she
She's
gains
got the
+1
flaming
attack.
sword of Arkland. Dun, 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 dun.
Ah.
All right, so I'm just gonna take a swing at Bob because she's in beast mode right now.
Do it.
I think I'm just going to go ahead. Boy, I can do all sorts of things to Bob.
Facebook comments.
So Arzale's got Transmog right now, which is an amazing ability. Now, a lot of you probably look at Transmog and when you play with Arzale, and you're going to be like, that's a level 3 ability. How can that be good? It's good because it's passive. So we haven't talked about our abilities yet, actually on the live stream at all. There's 3 types of abilities. There's active, passive, and reactive. So active means that you have to have an active hero to use it. Reactive means you can use it whenever you want in reaction to whatever you want. It's instantaneous. Passive means it happens all the time and it doesn't prevent the hero from doing other abilities, which is really good. So what Transmog does is once per game turn, she can actually convert resources into other resources, and that is going to solve my gold problem in a skinny minute. So I'm going to go ahead and just convert all this lumber right here into gold, which is just amazing. I'm not even going to spend it. I'm just going to leave it there just so I can whip out this sweet werebear and transform Arzale into the monstrous killing machine is that werebear. And I'm just going to get Bob off my back. So even though she can't gain any more experience, which is kind of a bummer, I'm going to take a massive swing at Bob. So I'm going to be packing 6 dice at Bob, right above face.
6.
Yep.
This does not seem cool. All right, Bob's got 3 in return. Ooh, Bob rolled well.
I rolled very poorly, but that will do some damage. I don't think I'm going to kill him though, which is a real bummer because he's going to be left with 1 hit point probably. So he's got 5, 6, 7. I did 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, which is just enough to get in. 13 minus 7 is 6. Took Bob out.
Brutal.
And Arzela's going to go ahead and just move forward because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not scared. Not in weird form. So I'm good.
All right. She has so much defense.
Oh my gosh, she's
She is a monster. Literally a monster.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who haven't seen her, this is her right now. She is quite beastly. Do you remember one of the funniest discussions we had?
What's that?
Male or female werebear?
Oh, I did. I do remember that. Yeah, people used to say to us, Arzela is a woman, obviously.
Right.
You want to see the mini? I don't know if you. It's
Arzela.
kind of blurry when you get it. That's good. You got to hold it real still so it can focus. Yeah, so she's a woman, right? And our werebear, people were like, "Well, your werebear looks like a man," and we were shocked by this conversation. This was about during our last Kickstarter last year. We were shocked by this because we were saying like, yeah, it kind of looks like a man, but ultimately it doesn't make any sense. Like first of all, what is a man-woman werebear?
Right.
Second of all, if you are a caster, you're a spellcaster, and I'm choosing the spell, and I'm like, I'm going to transform into a massive werebear. You're not going to be like, I want to transform into the dainty werebear. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's body transmogrification. I'm going to transform into the nastiest,
killing
ugliest
machine.
Right.
Yeah. And
I'm not worried about my gender profile at this point. You know what I mean? Like it was like I get it. I get the cognitive disconnect or whatever. That part made perfect sense to me, but it was just that it was a very weird conversation. Like around, I think I brought up references to like the Hulk in the comic books. I was like, and then there's this other side character called the She-Hulk.
Right.
And it was like if the Hulk, like, you know, he's Bruce Banner, he's like this skinny little tiny guy, and he transforms into the Hulk. You know, the Hulk is just like 10 times as large as Bruce Banner. I was like, how come when She-Hulk transforms into She-Hulk, she's like a little bit taller? And that's about it. It's ridiculous. I was like, what is she doing wrong? You know? It's pretty funny. Pretty funny conversation.
Anyway, the werebear is awesome. I think we get like 1,000 likes. Everybody gets a werebear. Everybody gets
1,000 on
so.
Facebook.
We'll probably give it away earlier. Don't tell anyone. We'll probably
If you watch the live stream, well, most likely this will end up being a freebie anyway, just because we love that model so much. Yeah, we do. Not gonna lie.
Cool. Okay, so that was Arzela. So Bob's dead. All right, what can I do? I don't think I can kill her, but I can kill the house.
Yes, you can.
So, and for a point, activating my mage. And so I'm going to attempt to kill that house. So I'm going to roll 2 base. I'm going to masochist myself.
Ooh, you got some damage on
4
right now.
times.
Interesting. All right.
To get another 2 dice. So 4 dice coming at you.
Playing some risk over there.
I mean, I just want her to die.
Oh, that house is dead.
Oh.
I only rolled a 1. So even though we just Yahtzeed ones together,
Oh, man.
we still had to snub together. So.
All right.
All right. Maybe got 4. You're bringing the game back here. Stretching it back.
All right. Oh, man, just got a lot of damage on her. All right. And then what am I going to do? Then I'm going to play Bloodstone,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm going to remove 4 damage from a friendly hero. So that's going to cost me... Oh, sorry, I'm going to remove 5 damage for 2 orc.
Oh, goodness.
So that's going to remove all the damage on her.
Yeah, there
No,
goes.
Just kidding, not all of it. Almost all of it. She's got... No, she has 5 on her.
Mm-hmm.
I can count.
I can't count. So she's back to full health,
Cool.
and she's going to
Dropping it on the well.
Yeah.
All right, so it's my go. Actually, no, it's
That's
Oriana's
huge.
go.
That was huge. I feel like it was a good turn.
It was a good turn.
Shout out if you like my turn. Let me know. I need some.
Oriana's coming up. Now, interestingly, she's just going to push. Now, Oriana is level 1 now, so she does a minimum of 1 damage when she pushes. So she will be pushing Asahaba out of the way. Chip has to retreat. If you weren't here earlier, you missed the discussion about how Oriana works. So what she does is she doesn't roll normal attack. She just always wins. She basically just walks up and says, get out of the face. And you have to move. And the higher level Oriana gets, the more damage she does when she does that. So at level 0, she doesn't do anything. She just get out of my way. But now she's level 1, she's doing 1 damage. So he's got to get out of the way. And then Oriana's going to dive right onto that spirit well like she always does.
So for
Now,
those people who are watching, I got extra movement out of that.
he sure did, which is huge for him. So what that did is it backed him up, away, and now I have Oriana in the way if I wanted to come attack him. It's very good. It's a very good play. One thing that's interesting about Oriana, if you're wondering why Oriana does that, and this just goes to show you that we have been play testing this game for the hundreds of hours that we honestly play and that we actually have been play testing. The reason why Oriana pushes and she doesn't attack is it's like, man, 6 months ago she would attack. But what happens is that Oriana's whole goal is to get to the spirit well. And what we discovered is that some of the highly defense characters like Fabian Cochran would stand on top of the well and be like, what's up? I got 6 defense. Right. And Oriana would just stand there the whole game and do nothing. And also give him free experience by attacking him because she never had enough attack dice to really do anything. And we were just like, that's really a bad mechanic. Not only is she no longer threatening the spirit well, which is bad, she's giving somebody kind of like free experience points. So we said, what's a better idea is you just can't stop her. You cannot get in her way. Like she's getting to the spirit well no matter what. So she's going to be a threat. So it's either kill her or don't, but you can't just get in her way, which is pretty important. So I'm going to move. I'm going to be like a born player because he's almost level 1, right? So I'm just going to come back over here. I'm going to drop 2 of the gold.
Oh, is he a builder?
Yeah, he's a fortifier.
Man.
So he's bringing up the house. That's going to make him level 1.
It's a good move.
And I'm going to just go ahead and drop 1 attack on him.
It's the right move.
It is the right move. And we're going to boost up 1, back to 5. We've been stuck here for 3 game turns. Not moving. It's actually pretty common on a 2-player game, I told you. Once you get into heads, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
So that was it. I'm done for the game turn. It's your move. I believe you got 1 more activation.
The little snake. And I'm going to do something terrible.
Oh, I think we have another comment. See another comment.
Yep, 37%.
Woo! Woohoo! Loving it.
Doing great tonight, guys. Remember, small independent game studio. Every little bit helps. Share us on
As in
Facebook.
small and independent, as in you're basically looking at it. This is it.
So
That's
appreciate
not 100% true. We love our artists, both Simon and Lee,
Yes.
who help us.
They're
Lee is our
amazing.
3D designer. He has designed all of these minis, and he does an amazing job. And then Simon is our concept artist. He does it. And I need to give a shout out to Bjorn, too. Bjorn is a graphic artist that we also work with. And he's largely put together the Kickstarter page. So all the artwork and things that you see on the Kickstarter page typically come from our artist, Simon. And but then Bjorn is responsible for sort of like massaging the artwork into
the graphic assembly.
right, graphic artist stuff that he does.
Yeah, so
Because if it was up to Chip and I, everything would look awful. Like you don't.
you really bad.
You still want Chip and I to be doing that
Really
work.
bad.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
No, so big shout out to those guys. We really appreciate them. But like I said, small independent game studio, 37% so far on opening night. I think we're doing great.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay, so I've got a little snake. No, that's not awkward. I've got the little snake.
Why you do that, man?
The little snake.
Hundreds
And
of games of War for Indagar, and I've
it's
never
never
caught
caught
up
up.
with that.
I know.
And now I have. I will never forget it.
Okay. So Tanishi Abi,
Now I want to change her name.
we can't. It's too late. The prototype is printed. We could change her name. One of our $500 backers
Could do it.
could change the name.
That's right.
If you're interested in changing Tanishi Abi, you could. Can I hold up one of the character cards and player?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah. So we're talking
Here,
about.
I got some in the box. I got some in the box. So you
No,
want
it's cool. I can take this one off.
Okay. All right.
So this is Tanishi Abi, the little snake.
She is the Blood Mage. Hold on,
No,
let's
she's
see.
Blood Cold Assassin.
Blood Cult Assassin.
Drinking
Sorry.
too much.
I have drank too much. There we go. It's a little out of focus.
It is low foods. It's hard to get it. He's
There we
working
go.
on it.
think that's about as clear as we're going to get.
If you look at it, so from like at the top of the card, you can see you have the name there. If you can like, even if it's out of focus, it's okay. Let me just talk to it. So you can see it's very easy to tell, like how many hit points does she have? What's her attacking defense, right? It's next to the swords and the shield and the boot. That's how far she moves. Hearts, how many hit points she has. I mean, for most players, when I'm teaching the game for the first time, I don't even tell them what it is. I just like point at the symbol. What do you think that is? And they're like, that's how much attack she has. It's like, yay! It's not difficult.
It's very intuitive.
Right over to the top right is her leveling up chart. So as he gains experience, he's putting little white cubes on the squares. And as he hits 3 white cubes, you'll see that makes him level 1, and then 4 is level 2, and 5 is level 3. So the way the game works is you don't get to say you don't get 3 experience for level 1, 4 for 2, and then 5 for 3. The way it works is when you gain a level, you wipe out all the experience and you start over from the beginning. The cool part about getting levels for heroes is they can never lose them, right? But they can lose their current experience toward accruing it, and that's actually driven some of the decisions we've made on this game so far. Is where characters were sitting at with the amount of experience they had. Like, for example, with Arnthar, I just moved to build a house because the builder only had 1 experience left to get level 1, which we would be locked into forever. So I took that as the safe bet because I knew if I build a house, I'd automatically get 1 XP. I could keep it. After that, you're looking at some abilities that are basic to Tanisha over there. So Little Snake, she has, what's her basic ability? So she has speed, right? Yeah. Which speed is pretty cool for her, so that allows her to move through swamps without being slow run. And she's also bird not built. So other than that, she has burn not build means that Tanisha Abi cannot build outposts. That's what that means. She burns them, she doesn't build them. After that, she has a basic ability, which is always for her. And then she has a command ability, which is only applicable to her if she's commander. And her command ability is literally, she can't be a commander. And that's a lore choice, right? So people are wondering, that's a stupid command ability. It is, because it's a lore choice. She's a blood cult assassin. They're killers for hire. She doesn't lead armies of people around. It's just not how they roll. Right, and so then below that you see that she has a list of abilities, and if you look over onto the right side of the card, you will see the levels 1, 2, and 3. So every time she gains a level, she unlocks that ability, and also you place a little +1 attack or +1 defense token there, so her stats go up while telling you the ability that's unlocked, and then those abilities become available to her, and she can spend points on. So they're writing more comments with their Chip. I can't see.
Said cool. Thank you. Awesome.
Cool.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh.
So she is activated. She is +1 level. She has 3D.
And by the way, the strategy cards, if you were looking, we did this earlier, but it is a live stream, so a lot of them are probably coming in later. So I'm going to hold this card up too. First of all, these strategy cards, these things are 9 by 18 inches. They're huge, right? So like it is bigger than my head. Like you can tell that it's a legit card.
Beer for reference.
There's a beer bottle for reference. So these are very big cards, and the reason why is because they both double as a game piece, which is the strategies down here in the bottom right, but they also double as a playing area, so you can lay your hero cards on here, you have your stockpile here for resources, and you can see that it's kind of hard to see. It's unfortunate the way that the camera's angled, you can't really see Chip and I messing with our strategy cards that are right here and right here. You can barely see the edges of them, but we're using them a lot. That's where we're keeping our resources, that's where we're keeping tokens and things that are floating around. So it's like a play mat. Helps you out with that. But I'm gonna hold this up too so you guys can see what this looks like. It's probably way out of focus again, but I'm just gonna hold it up. So down here is the strategies. Can you see those? Or are they just too out of focus?
No, they're
worth it. It's
Yeah,
good. So as you can see right down here, these are the strategies. So you have 3 strategy trees, and then each strategy has. When I'm picking that as my chosen strategy, I get the top ability throughout the entire game turn, which is cool. But then I'm also unlocking the next ability in a row down the tree every time I choose it. So strategies cost a certain amount of resources, and you can use them. And these are pivotal. Like what strategies you want to choose as to what order you're going to unlock them is important. Another thing that you'll notice is that we're holding up these little tokens on there. It's kind of hard to see it, I think, on the live stream. But down on my board, if you look, you're going to see I have this token that I'm placing here that's either the lightning bolt. Can you see that? My thumb in the way.
Yeah, you're good.
Is the lightning bolt or the money sign. So one of the cool parts about this game is you can customize your play. You can't see it because of my ring. There it is. So one of the cool parts about the game is when you unlock strategies in a tree, you get to choose if you want to make it permanently a little bit cheaper or permanently a little bit more powerful. And that changes based off the person that you're playing against, what their strategy is, all kinds of things. So that's all about the replayability aspect of the game, is being able to change the way that the game plays every single time, and hoping that you will change the way that you play based off what's happening and what your opponent's doing, what the board is looking like, what kind of monsters are you playing with this particular time. You need to be able to adjust your strategy accordingly. All right, where are we at?
So,
We get any more comments? I can't tell.
no, we're good. Dan says thank you. Dan, appreciate the conversation. So, Tanishi Ibadi, the little snake, is now going to destroy your level 2 outpost.
That is not friendly.
Nope, not friendly at all.
Really?
So she is 3 base. +1. And that's it.
All right.
You got double defense.
Double D.
I rolled a 8 and 8. Not enough.
I got a 4. No, that's exactly enough. You got an 8. So that's going to whack that. Now Chip has a choice here. When you kill a level 2 outpost, what's going to happen is he can choose to do nothing, which means it's just going to downgrade to a level 1 outpost. He's not going to do that. I'm just saying the choice is there. The second choice is he can move into the square that the outpost was in and burn it completely, which means I get nothing. Or he could capture. Now, if he captures it, that means it's going to downgrade to a level 1, but it will now be his house, which is really not a bad play for him, so to speak, because it's going to give him a +1 defense and make him a little harder to move. He get temporary. He's going to get this. If I don't kill it, he'll get some resources because it's the end of the game turn. It's a really good move. You cannot capture level 1 outposts. They always downgrade 1 before you capture it. So it was a level 2, it went to level 1, but if it's level 1, it just dies. So there is no.
And actually, because I'm using my strategy of raid, in addition to capturing the outpost, I gain a blood point, which is like my faction resource. And so now I'll have 6. I can turn that in next turn for resource points, and I'm swimming pretty.
That's going to bump me down 1. So Chip's actually now taking the lead with 5 points, still 4.
Boom!
All right, so that's the end of the game turn. I'm all locked out. You're all locked out, and we're moving on to game turn 7 now, right?
Yep.
So game's almost over, one way or another. I've got 3 turns left, and all right. So we are going to now collect resources again. I'm getting 2 golds. I'm getting 1 ore. I'm getting 1 lumber. So my lumber empire has been annihilated. Aaron Tharbardi is back to full hit points. And
Swimming resources.
we're good to go. You have a, yeah, that's dangerous. Chip's in a really good position right now. I did, however, collect my 3rd counter on Wild Meter, and I will go ahead and spend all 3 of those. Now, so I told you at the very beginning of the live stream, I said there's 5 ways you can earn primacy, and one of them is by generating from one of your strategies. Mine is Wild Meter. So if I ever click 3 counters on my Wild Meter, I can trade them in for a primacy, which I will do so, which is now going to tie the game up to 5-5.
Except, I too am going to do that because I can spend 6 blood points at any time to gain a primacy, which I have now.
Which is going to bump Chip up to 6. Now, these are really good abilities. They take some turns, some game turns to accrue, but they're permanent. Like, you can't take them away. And there's a big difference between permanent and non-permanent primacy, right? It's a huge deal. Houses are non-permanent primacy, which means you can do like you just did. You come in, you kill a bunch of houses, and suddenly I'm not in a bad position. What it's going to allow me to do, though, is I'm going to go ahead and change back over to lycanthropy. And I'm going to go ahead and power that up.
Shout out to Jason, number 49 on our backer list. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate your pledge. That means we are 1 away from 50. Would love to get to 50 before this game is over. Tell your friends. Tell your kids. Tell your wives.
Tell your kids. Tell your wives.
Don't hide them. Tell them.
That's it. Are we going to comment? Looks like another comment. I can't tell.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. All right. Just in case you're wondering, by backing our Kickstarter randomly, I also have a very bad vision problem. I'm actually visually handicapped, which is why I keep asking Chip to read the screen for me. That's kind of interesting, but true story. All right. Another random story is I happened to take my 1st degree black belt test in American Freestyle Karate this morning as well, and my leg is on fire because I injured it while I was in the middle of doing all my universals. So I'm actually glad that we're drinking beer because right now I'm all hopped up on Motrin and ibuprofen. It's like
I'm taking advantage of Neil in a wounded state.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm making excuses right now for why I'm about to lose this game. That's this one. Thanks.
He is going to lose.
Thanks for going there, Chip.
I told you, I play this game more than anyone in the world.
He's got a flip.
Be really
He's
good
got a
at it.
flip. Yeah, right. So I'm level 3 nowadays.
Bob is level 3. Bob is going to be angry.
All right. So who's got initiative this go round? You
I
do.
Yep.
You do. You do.
Who do? Do what? All right. So I am going to activate the Twin Blades. I'm going to build. Because I've got a new strategy.
Interesting.
Ba-boom. 7.
Okay.
And in addition to that, I'm done.
In addition to that, I'm done.
I got to keep all
Awesome.
the
So
strategies.
Oriana, she's chomping down, right? So it's going to be 1 damage to everybody within range 1. That's what the Enchantress does. So
I'll do 1 damage.
Asahaba's going to take a damage. And Oriana moves up by 1. So I am going to go ahead. Oh, she's back in that normal mode, right? I'm going to go ahead and bring her over.
Ruh-roh.
And let's just go ahead and put a beating on Little Snake over there.
The little snake.
The Little Snake.
All right.
Little
So
Snake.
Little Snake has 2 base and 1 for the house. Trace dices. How do you say dice in Spanish?
I have no idea.
Okay, Google.
Okay.
How do you say dice in Spanish?
Dado.
Dado?
Okay, Google. Say it again.
Dado.
Dado?
Dado? That's what I heard.
Dado.
All right.
Trace dados.
All right.
If anybody on the live stream
If you
speaks
speak Spanish, please save Jupiter.
1, don't be offended.
Don't be offended.
2, please correct us. I don't know if I can trust Google at this point.
I love it. I love it. All right. So here we go. We are. I don't know if I want to burn ball on you. I just don't. How many hit points you got left? You only got.
I've got 5.
I just don't know.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Because I don't need the XP. I just want to kill the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit you.
Okay. Yeah.
So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
6.
So 4 damage. 3 goes into the house.
Wait.
All right. Wait. But wait.
But wait. I don't know if I can do that right now. Yeah, that's fine. Take the house.
Taking the house. So you take 1 damage on her. The house dies. It had 3 hit points. That'll bump him back 1. And he doesn't have to move, though. So that was it. Arzela is done. Your move, good Sat.
So I want to continue killing your stuff.
Let's see if my mom back yet. Y'all ready?
I mean, I can say she hasn't.
Really?
I just
Oh, because you just looked.
Yeah.
Way to just
I
kill the
hate-
excitement.
I hate to break it to
Way to just kill the excitement. All right.
Text her. Be like, listen.
Hey,
got called
Mom.
Why do you
Mom,
have
seriously.
Why do you have my phone?
Because it's over here. I don't know. Why do you have 2 phones?
I have work phone.
All right.
Personal phone. Nerd phone.
Right.
All right. What are we gonna do? So Asahaba is going to activate. She is going to build for 2 gold. Because she is a builder, that will gain her last experience point for level 2.
Whoa, level 2. Whoa, I wasn't paying attention to that. Holy smokes.
I know, right? Shocking.
All right.
And so that will push me up to 6 again.
Nice.
And then in addition, she will go boop, boop, and see what core of magic is over.
That's
oh,
small.
God. Sad face.
All right.
All right. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do.
Okay, so it's my go now.
Do you want to check if your mom back again?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm going to check anyway.
Look like my mom would never watch a live stream. Not even close.
No, she did not back.
I don't know. I'm not shocked. Not sure. So let's see what to do.
But if your mom likes strategy games,
That's right. Tell your mom back.
please tell your mom to
Please.
back the game.
That's right. Aranthor's going to move, drop his 2 gold.
Okay.
Building the housey house on the gold.
Interesting. I feel like we've got like a seesaw strategy at play. We got aggressive, and now we're building.
It's a really good point. It's actually kind of interesting. Like playing this game, I would say like arguably like through all the hours of playtesting that we've been through, arguably not knowing what your opponent's thinking is pretty huge. Like I've seen games won and lost where you're sitting there watching the other guy going like what is he doing? You know, and he just doesn't see what you see. I mean, it's like playing chess in that regard. You know what I mean? Where
especially
people
a
are
2-player
like,
game.
he just doesn't see what you see. I don't know what to tell you. Like
I honestly,
it is what it is.
I think that's incredibly accurate. I think the 2-player game has the strategy of chess.
Yeah.
With the excitement of a random AI coming to burn your shit down.
Nope. There it is.
It's amazing. So if you like chess plus random burning shit, back this game.
I think we just got another comment.
Matt McCullough is sad because your mom hasn't back.
I know exactly. Call her. I think you got her number, Matt. You should just call her.
Call her. All right. What am I gonna do? I am going to. The plot thickens. Tanisha Yabi is going to activate. Wow. And scoop. And I'm going to try to once again put Zaked in timeout. No, he didn't. So I'm going to attack you. So I got 3 base, +1 for leveling up, +1 for the flank, and metabolic enhancement, which is 2 gold and a lumber, is going to give me another attack. So that's 6. Plus, it will allow me to re-roll a die. And before I do that, I'm going to trade in 3 lumber for a gold, spend that gold to blood boil him.
All right.
For 2 damage.
Okay.
So you can put that in.
I'm not liking that. Yeah.
Shit's getting real.
Who built this game?
Who built this game? All right, you ready?
Yes.
Ready for the action?
I'm ready.
You're not like counting your dice yet. I feel like you've got a trap. All right, let's see what happens. Oh my god.
That's my trap.
Oh my god.
My trap is your terrible dice.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's pretty bad.
Oh fuck! I used.
Oh gosh, man.
I used. I can't roll that one again.
All right. So.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, I got no trap. I mean, I could spend resources to try to block 2 damage, but it's just not. It's not worth it.
I rolled 11.
Yeah, you're just gonna train wreck me. It doesn't do me any good. So I rolled 3. That's 8. The house is gonna take 3. So he'll be 5. He's still alive.
He's still alive.
But the house is dead. You get an experience for that.
I do gain an experience.
No, you already had damage on him because you blood bowled him.
Oh snap!
Snap! It's back in a timeout for
Snap
you.
zizzles.
Okay.
Snap! That's a level. Snap zizzles. Tell me your mom is watching the live stream and is upset that we're talking about her.
I don't know. Let's see. No.
No? Okay.
No.
No. Can anybody tell me?
I'm just saying, whose mom doesn't back their Kickstarter?
That's
On opening
messed
night.
up. Can anybody tell me what the score of the West Virginia football game is? I'm interested. 50 backers!
50 backers.
Nice. Nicholas Cole, thank you for backing. Appreciate your
You
support.
are number 50.
You are
Nicholas.
number 50.
Huh?
50. I don't know. Am I backwards? I can't tell. Are we in the mirror?
I don't think so.
50 backers. All right. So, I'm going to move in.
That's going to move me down 1, back to 5.
Yep.
All right.
Keep pushing the advantage.
Okay, so unfortunately, Zaked was my last unactivated here. So I'm actually activated out for this turn, which means Chip's going to get a freebie. He's activated out too, but I get no last turn. Right, essentially is what that means. So that's going to round out turn 7. We're on turn 8, and we've only got 2 turns to go.
2 turns to
So
go.
I got another comment over there. I can't remember what it said.
38%. 38%.
Wow.
Dan Hopper, appreciate you keeping tabs
Absolutely.
on this. 38%.
All right, I'm moving over
I would love to get to 40% tonight. I would love to get to 50%
I'd love to
tonight.
get 100%. What are you talking about? That'd be amazing.
100%.
I would be
Tell everyone.
I would run naked through the street for that at this point.
You heard it here. You heard it here. I live in a very quiet neighborhood. If Neil did that, he'd probably get arrested.
I would definitely get arrested.
Definitely get arrested.
All right.
Heal. Get some gold.
Old Zoc's back.
We got one more. No, two more.
My mighty empire has crumbled substantially.
Yeah.
I feel like right now you got me beat on. You are beating me on resource gain, which is bad for me. But I did finally get my gold, which is really desperately needed that.
I feel like I need to lay like the critical gut punch.
You're
How do I
kind
do
of in a
that?
good position for it.
How do we do that?
I've got initiative though right now, right? So I'm going to. Oh, you got to spirit up the spirit bottle here.
Yeah.
What to do? What to do?
Can't do it this time.
So I'm going to go ahead and move. I'm going to go ahead and activate our Zayla. She's going to move right on over here, and I'm going to go ahead and transmog out my ore, which I haven't been using at all, into more gold.
Is that a 2-for-1?
So yeah, transmogs are passive, where I get to trade out resources on a 1-to-1 ratio.
Sweet.
That's the benefit of giving her level 3. So you said when we were in the playtesting, people were like, "Why is that a level 3 ability?" And I'm like, "Why is it not a level 3 ability?
That's
It's just amazing."
That's
Yeah, it's like it is like the best ability ever. So yeah, we're bearing it out, and I'm going to try to demolish little snakes. So let's see if I can do that. Back to the werebear, and I will go ahead and spend. I can't do that. So I'm good. We're just gonna try to demolish her. Let's see what happens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice coming at you.
Okay, I'm going to play Born in the Darkness.
Yep.
I'm going to spend a gold, a lumber, and an ore
Born in the darkness.
to teleport one friendly hero adjacent to another friendly hero.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that you do when you're playing against her Maul is you want him to burn Born in the Darkness because it's reactive, and what it does is it locks the whole strategy down because it's reactive. So now I don't have to worry about him using that offensively. So I probably should have gone without trying to transfer into Werebear.
As soon as you went
Because it was
Werebear,
too expensive, right? To force your hand on that. So that's probably actually a very critical mistake. It cost me a lot of gold to do that. But either way, still good. Because transmog's passive, I can continue to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and transmog out these two for these two lumber for these two ore, and you'll see why that's important in just a second.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to lose my attack, and she moved over, and I'm good. So it's your go.
all right. So I'm going to activate Asahaba, my blood mage. I'm going to attempt to there.
See what we get.
Oh,
Archdemon. Lovely. All right.
Oh, that hurts.
Archdemon. So Archdemon's going to attack him immediately. Archdemon packs in 4. I thought I wasn't going to care too much, so I'm going to be honest with you. She's got 3, so it's going to hurt a little bit, but not a big deal. So, wow. 9, 10, 11. Wow, 4 damage. All right.
That was, it almost killed her.
Just about.
Almost killed her. That is a surprising amount of damage. And she lost a move.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what's she gonna do? I guess she'll swing back. I mean, I've got nothing else to do.
Okay.
So she's gonna swing back with. No, because I can move through occupied terrain, and I've got an additional.
Because of rain,
+1,
right?
So. Let's see what's over here.
A free house. Unbelievable.
Free house.
There's a free gold house sitting over this whole time. I can just walk over here.
It's a free
Oh, it's killing me.
house.
I love it.
Oh, that could be game. That could be game ending.
Yeah, that's
right
huge.
there. That's
That is
massive.
huge.
That's
This
massive.
late in the game, that's huge.
And I still haven't attacked yet. I still can't attack.
No doubt. Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw 3 dice at you. No, 4 dice. Flanking.
This is coming out of the Arc Demon, right?
Yep. So it's 8
So 5, 6, 7. 6 damage.
damage.
Right.
One's good.
I'm thinking of more or less the four experience points you can kill that demon. It's also game changing.
It'll help. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll help.
Cool. So Oriana's going to go now, right? So Chip's done. So Oriana goes. She's going to eat this. This is he's come back next game. This is her second go right now. So now she's going to do 2 damage to everything within 2 squares.
She just got 2?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Why didn't I look?
Which is Aranthar over there. He's going to take 2 damage. So it's this big explosion, right? So Aranthar takes 2. Little Snake's going to take 2. Arzalo's going to take 2.
Man.
And all the houses take 2. Now, one thing we haven't talked about is houses. You might be wondering why we don't put damage counters on houses. The reason why is because houses don't take damage in the same way that heroes do. So we don't track it. Houses always heal. It's either you breach the wall or you don't. That's all there is to it in the same turn. So that keeps you from having to get way too fiddly with like laying damage counters everywhere, and you have to worry about this awkward like, are they repairing the wall?
Too much homework.
Yeah, it's just
too much homework.
It's just too much. It's not necessary.
Right.
So that's how it goes. So it's my go now, right? So I'm going to go ahead and activate Zockhead and go through with my plan. So Zock's going to come over here. I'm going to dump 2 ore, a lumber, and a gold to upgrade to level 3 here.
Okay.
So I'm done.
That's it?
Yep.
That's it? All right. I am going to activate Tanishi. I am going to try to kill the demon. So I've got 3 base, 2 for levels, 1 for flanking.
Amazing.
So 3, 6, 9, 12, 13.
13. And she's coming back at you with 5, 6, 7. So he's got 6 damage on him. That's going to kill him. Woo! All right. Amazing. So that's 4 experience points for Tanishi.
No, Nope.
Not quite level 3.
I'm not. Close, though. Close. And I'm going to...
I've been trying to send Little Snake back this whole game, and I just can't get a good shot at her.
I know. Cool. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so Aranthar's going to go now. He's just going to move up, and he's just going to take a cheap shot at Chip's house right here. I'm sure you saw that coming. So he's got 3 dice. He'll take a cheap shot at the house. He only needs to do 3 damage, but he did not. Only did 4. So it's like I said before, the houses are all or nothing. Either you whack it in the same turn or you don't. So that was very stinky for me. And that's it. But I did win the combat, so I will get some XP. Which is not all bad for me. So that's it for the game turn. We're on the game turn. No, I'm sorry. I have
the Twin Blades.
Yeah. Roskahal's got to come.
So he's going to go here.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to spend 2 gold. And he's going to build a house.
Build another house. Amazing. 8. So we're up to 8. This is like a dramatic turn of events for typically it's tribes where I find myself building lots of houses, and as it's been, the gold has really hurt me, and I haven't been playing well. I've been focused too much on pushing her into you as opposed to trying to build more houses, which is what I really should have been doing to build stockpile.
Yep. And
it's interesting how it's playing out. Like I'm enjoying it because it's a table turner, if that makes any sense. The way that it goes. So if we need to swap back out here, right? So let's see, I'm going to get 3 golds here, another gold from that house, and then a lumber.
Massive resource stockpile.
I see that. Yeah, it's amazing, right?
1, 2.
We got a little bit of snowball effect going on here.
Yes, my engine is running. Little engine building going on.
So I'm going to go ahead and go here. So let's see, you were up first. Let's go around and pass the initiative to you.
All right. What can I do to utterly devastate this game? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh.
We're going to win next turn. She'll win before we.
She's gonna kill all my houses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
I have to.
Yeah, if you don't kill her right now, she's going to eat that right after your turn, and then all of this is gone.
All of it.
Yeah, all
I have to. That's why. This is why. For people that are new,
for people that have been watching, this is why AI is so critical.
Yep.
Because I was on a warpath to victory right now. But
One
the
turn
AI is completely changing what is going to happen this turn.
I'm gonna take another break. I'll be right back.
It is completely changing this turn.
Yep.
For new people, what happens with this AI in the center is every time she eats a blue cube, she will do an additional damage to an additional range. She's already eaten 2. This would be her 3rd cube, which means she's going to do 3 damage at 3 range as soon as she eats that cube. So that means 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares. So essentially this entire board is going to take 3 damage. That is incredibly important right now because each level 1 outpost only has 3 hit points. So that means she'll kill this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, as well as this 2. But that will take me down to essentially 2 points, which is like game altering. So I need to pull out all the stops right now. And the video, okay, Dan, sorry if the video went down for you. We hope the video is still working. Matt says it's still working. Hopefully it is. If not, let us know. We'll restart the stream. But in either case, this is game changing. I need to do I need to pull some miracles out right now. Otherwise, I am going to be back to 2 points, and I will lose this game. So it is time to shine.
Time to shine.
Time to shine. Okay. So oh god, you know what I could do is I can just level up all my outposts.
Good luck.
I don't have enough lumber.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to offer blood for the blood god. Born in darkness. So I'm going to activate Little Snake.
Mm-hmm.
So Little Snake, boom, and she is going to.
Now here's a critical thing about playing Ramal. So Ramal can pull this out. So what he's going to do is he's going to move.
Yeah.
And then he's going to Born in Darkness, and he's going to pull in his other heroes for the massive flanking bonus that he needs.
Yeah.
Which is a Ramal special ability. So Ramal being able to teleport around. This is what Ramal does. This is what they're best at. Moving their guys around the tables to both gain advantage and to deny advantage. That's what they do.
Yeah. So I have brought all of my heroes into a flanking bonus. So I'm trying to be as strong as I can.
He really needs to one-shot Oriana.
To kill Oriana.
Yep.
Because as soon as she goes, and she will go immediately following my move,
Yep.
she will kill essentially all my houses.
Yep.
So this is like my last ditch effort. This is why I love this game. Oh my god. All right. So Little Snake is going to have 3 base. I'm going to roll a ton of dice here. 3 base. 2 for her levels.
Mm-hmm.
+1 for my strategy. +2 for the flanking.
Woo!
And
Piling it on.
oh man, what else can I do? What else can I do? I'm going to do, for a gold, I'm going to do 2 damage to Oriana.
Out of the gate, yep.
Out of the gate. Blood boil.
All right.
Crow.
That'll probably do it.
I hope
That
that's
went back and forth defense. You rolled terribly.
I kept fever dreams just in case.
Yeah, right. I figured.
Because I'm going to need it. So,
That's not too bad.
3, 6.
I roll bad. So Oriana's blocked 8. She's only got 4 hit points left because he blood boiled her for 2 damage, which is pretty exciting.
So that's 8 off the jump. So I did 7 on top.
There you go. So Oriana's down,
And that'll actually put me to level 3 for
which
Little
is
Snake.
amazing. That's going to put him at 9 victory points. So at this point, it is highly unlikely that I can come back from this, but I'm not out of the tricks yet. So
There's tricks.
we will see. We will see how that goes.
Boom. Dan, glad you got it back.
Okay, so I didn't activate, and we're gonna move. So now's a pretty good spot for me to start being a little bit more aggressive. So I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna go ahead and activate Aranthar, and he's gonna move back, and then I'm going to spend 1 gold. I have no ore. I don't know if I want to transmog out right now. So that's a bummer. I don't need ore though, because I'm just going to level 2. So we'll just go ahead and spend the 1 gold and the 2 lumber to go ahead and bring back out a level 2 outpost over here. That's going to give Aranthar another experience point because he is a fortifier. And then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to transmog. I'm going to transmog one of these. That's with Arzela's passive ability, which is totally legit. And I will spend that lumber to go ahead and generate resources from these 2, which will give me back my 2 gold and lumber. So I'm basically going to walk out of this with as much gold as what I started, which is pretty good. So that's it.
That's it?
That's it. A lot of talking.
We're getting a call from Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Should we answer?
Okay, we should.
It's on my work phone.
We shouldn't. Not if it's your work phone.
All right. Sorry, Slovenia. If you're calling in to talk to us about the game,
Checking up my mom now. See if my mom has backed it.
Okay. Let me know.
No.
All right. So I'm going to activate. I'm just going to go for the killing blow, I think. So Froska Hall is going to activate. I'm going to spend 2 gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to build. Ooh, plot thickens. I can't.
Can't, because he doesn't have any more level 1 houses.
Out of outposts. Oh. Neil knew this was going to happen.
I did.
He saw it. Like he. VT lost ODU. I did not see that. Let me know the WVU score, Dan. I need to know that. But VT losing ODU is awful. That's really bad. It's almost as bad as me not realizing I've already used all 6 outposts. Man, what am I going to do? All right. Well, I can consolidate my victory by moving here and killing your outpost. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to throw 2 base, +1/+1 at this house.
Yep.
Smack. Dead.
Not today.
Not today.
My forest empire crumbles before me.
Yes. And I'll move in, and I'm going to experience points.
Oh, we got another comment up there. Let's see who that is.
So it is victory by primacy points immediate or checked at the end of the round?
It is checked at the end of the round. I'm
Great
glad you
question.
asked.
Yeah.
So it is checked at the end of the round, and it's in play order. So 2 people could get 10 points in the same round, and then who is going to win is who is first in the initiative order. Remember, the game goes clockwise. So if you have initiative, obviously, and you have 10, you win, right?
Yep.
But otherwise, it's in order. In a 2-player game, it's whoever has initiative is going to win. It's possible we both get 10, but it is checked at the end of the round. So even if he hits 10 right now, I can still just kill a house at the end and bring him back down to 9 and go on into it. But honestly, we're moving into turn 10. I mean, this is pretty much it. We got 1 turn left. Yep. So it is like super unlikely that I'm going to come back from this deficit, right? But it is possible. I'm going to try my best here for the live stream. So
for the children.
That's it for the children. Pledge now, and Chip will immediately surrender.
I will concede. Despite my commanding victory, despite my title as the most winningest War for Indagar player of all time, if you pledge now, if we get 2 pledges in the next 10 minutes, I will concede.
I will concede right now.
Right now.
Oh gosh. All right. So here we go. I've got to do some damage to you in order to stay in the game. So I'm just going to go ahead and wreck this house with Harzela. So she's just going to roll 4 dice at you. I'm not going to overcommit here. I'm just going to go for it. If I roll badly, though, this could end the game. Yeah, almost quite literally. I do not. So I just flatten that house. That'll back him down 1. She's going to pile into the square, and the tile is just at a hex, and that'll be the end of that. So it is your go, Chip.
Cool. And WVU1, go Mountaineers.
All right.
So I'm going to activate Asahaba, and she is going to go and build.
Oh, you know what? The spirit's still there, by the way, because
she died.
She died before she beat it. Yeah.
Cool. And so that's it.
So that puts you back at 9.
Back to 9.
Bump to 9. And then Zoc Ked's gonna go ahead and come out of the woodwork, and he's just gonna go ahead and see if I can pop that house right there.
Okay.
I will You know what? I'm not going to roll gold. I normally I would power him up, but I think I'm
I think
just.
you're fine.
I think I want to keep my gold right now. Maybe that was a mistake.
I rolled a 3 for those of you who cannot see. Now,
Oh, I barely even heard it. It just did damage. Wow, I didn't even get XP for that. So that was sadness.
game changer.
So right before the game turn ends, I'm going to go ahead and activate Wild Growth, which
Yep.
is the strategy that I have chosen. I'm going to spend my 4 gold to go ahead and drop 2 outposts. Now this is a Great Forest Tribe's ability. It's the only one I can use it. I can build 2 outposts anywhere I want. So I've sort of like cleverly waited to the end of the game turn, so he couldn't really do much about it.
For people that were asking earlier about like the strengths of that faction, like this is one of his pivotal.
You're looking at it. So I'm going to put 1 here, and I'm going to put over here. So that's going to bump me up 2 points temporarily anyway, and sort of even the score a little bit. And then we are going into team turn 10. So this is it. One way or another, the game ends probably in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, Google. Play Final Countdown.
It's the final count.
The final countdown by Europe. Sure. Playing on Spotify.
I have lots of gold. I'm ready.
All right. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My son loves the song. Though.
Really?
Yes, he does.
That's awesome.
I don't even know where he came up with it. He came home one day from school. He's like, "We have to play this song." I'm like, "What is this?"
I'm getting 1, 2. Man, I'm rich right now.
You have so many resources.
Cool.
Okay, Google. Stop.
All right.
Okay. Game turn 10.
Game turn 10. See what happens.
I'm gonna stay on the same strategy. Yeah.
As am I.
Okay.
I'm sure it's a shocker. It's pretty common for tribes to take Wild Growth at the very end because they're trying to scrape a point. Especially when I'm this close to him being at 10. So I've got to do some work this turn in order to pull this off. And it's really gonna I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be more about this. This is like Chip's game to lose right now than it is my game to win, really. It's what's gonna happen.
Has she healed? Does she actually have
Yeah,
damage? Damage?
No, or say let's almost completely back. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay. I still am going to try to kill her. Alright, so I'm going to play Born in the Darkness.
All
Or
right.
no, first I'm going to move.
Yep.
You only have 1 spirit? Yeah, okay. So, and now I'm going to play Born in the Darkness
Oh,
for...
there's 2 spirit on the spirit ball, by the way.
Oh, that changes
That
everything.
changes everything.
I'm not going to play Born in the
I knew
Darkness.
that was the reason for it.
I'm going to...
The pain, the
That's a
agony.
holla.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
gonna move. She's going to take
Yeah,
the spirit.
don't even know. That'll put you at 10.
That's 10.
Oh.
And then she's going to move back.
Oh, bad strategy on my part.
Oh, the death knell.
The
It's
death
not
blow.
over yet. It's not over yet.
Don't
So-
choke, Chip. Oh no, I didn't choke. Game's over. Well, no, he can still.
I
cut
can
me
still
back.
bring him back down.
He still has a chance.
I am not out of this game.
Don't give up on him.
Not even by a long shot.
We have not gotten those 2 backers, so I will not concede.
That's right.
There's still time though. 2 more backers before the end of this game, and I will concede.
So, okay, so Senior Ked over here, he's gonna wild up. He's gonna man up, and we're gonna try to burn this outpost right here. So,
He's going to woman up.
yes, he is. And then where's some more dice over here?
I've got them all.
All right,
You're good.
I'm totally good. So that'll bump you back down to 9, which is where I need you to be.
Okay.
Ken will move up. He'll move up again, and that is me.
All right. I'm going to activate Rusket Hall. I'm going to spend 2 gold. Build an outpost.
Oh, clever. I like it.
Now back to 10.
Clever.
And...
Very clever.
Yeah, okay.
Very clever.
Kill another one. I dare you.
I'm thinking about it. I'm going to have to. I don't have a choice. So, in light of that, Yeah, I've got to save my gold. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and activate Arnthar.
Okay.
He's going to come on over, and he's going to attack that house. Now I'm going to go ahead. Man.
Oh, wait, Bob's in.
Oh.
Game changer.
Yeah, this is a game changer. Thank you. That's not a game changer. Well, he's going to kill my house.
No, he's going to go for me.
You got the most houses. Clever girl.
Mm-hmm.
Clever girl. Clever Bob. Boy, that's out of left field. That just changed my whole outlook right there. The fact that Bob just walked on the board. That is amazing for me.
He will go after you, but he will go for you, essentially.
Yeah, he sure will. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going for that. I'm going to go ahead and spend these 2 gold to use Maul, and I'm going to see if I can just take this house out. So Aranthar, that's going to give him 4 dice, which should be enough to just cripple this house. Well, all right. Good thing, because I rolled terribly. So that's going to bump him back down to 9. And Aranthar's going to jump back into here, but he's also going to take that experience he just gained. He's going to get to level 2, which is going to give him an extra defense. And it will also unlock Rights of Protection, which may be critical here in just a minute. So there we go. That is it for me, and we are down to our last activations. Bob's going to go. He's going to go after Chip, because Chip has the most houses. Now, here's the cool thing about Bob for me is Bob does a minimum 5 damage right now. So he's taking that house out no matter what, which is going to drag Chip back down to an 8, which is going to be a critical thing for me.
Yeah. So I'm going to roll 4 defense.
Yep.
Against Bob's 3 attack.
Yep. Which you will probably gain an XP from. Oh,
9!
Oh!
So I will take just 2 to the face.
Yep.
And my house will die.
Yep. Which is going to bump Chip back down to an 8.
And I have to fall back.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's...
So this is the danger of trying to win by houses.
Right.
This is how it goes. It's easy come, easy go. You saw me earlier in the game where it looked like I was doing really well, and then Chip just came to and destroyed all my economy. And now his economy is getting destroyed as well. So that's how it goes. And remember, Bob's going to get one more turn here. He's going to go again. So he's going to come after Chip again, which could win me the game. It is possible.
Actually, yeah, so let me do that.
Better move.
Thank you for reminding me.
So it is your go.
But Bob would have chased me in.
Yes, he would.
So he can still get to
He
my
can
house.
still get to your houses. Yeah. All right.
All right. Little snake who cannot build. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to roll so many dice against you.
Oh, yeah.
7 dice.
I'm good with that.
And I'm going to probably win.
All right. Yep. So this is it. This
And
is
I will
sure.
finish my movement.
Good. So you've still got Asahaba to go, right?
No, I'm not activated.
You're tapped.
I'm done. You've got
So this is it. So Bob's not going to go again. Epic. That could change everything. So I think you got me. I don't think there's anything you can do. What I was thinking, I was considering Bob was going to go, but because I have last turn, Bob's going to get skipped.
Yes.
So that's an important aspect of the game. Is that if there's the AI comes after the last player, the AI gets skipped. If Bob had gone right now and moved, I could have destroyed one of Chip's houses, putting him to 7, and then I would have built 2 very quickly with my special ability, plus use Arzela to move over and build another one to win the game 8-7. That's how close we are right now. Like, it was literally coming down to that. I don't think I can take him out at this point in time. I could possibly tie him, but then he's going to win anyway because he has initiative. Even
Sherry
on the tie. So.
Hockman asks if the game is waterproof.
I doubt it. Highly.
Sherry, I don't think so. Hopefully you don't get any more rain, and you see the rivers cresting and they're done.
I hear you.
But if you do need a board game to tide you over,
That's it.
it's a good
I'll tell you what, we're a great game to play while you're surrounded on all sides by water.
You never knew you
your
had
house.
you had island front property.
That's it. Yeah. So I think you got me, Chip. I think this is it.
All right.
I've got no move to make that will possibly close the gap. The best I could do is get up to 7, and so it's going to end 7-8. So there we have it.
Cool.
Perfect. You as well. All right.
So I hope everybody saw a really good example of how this game works out. We did shoot the shit for a while, so we took about 2.5 hours. Normally, this game, if you're not, handing it up for a live stream,
You ain't lying. Yeah. If you couldn't tell that this game will move very fast, I'm not sure, how best to do it other than when Chip and I could have stopped talking to you and just started playing the game. The best part about it, as far as like a fast-paced game, is that again you're not waiting. I mean, Chip moves a couple things, maybe attack something, no big deal, and then it's my turn.
Right.
It's like I'm not waiting, and that's so critical on 4X games to be able to just get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Like
the game moves fast. It's high action. It's high involvement. There's high engagement. It is, I think you will all agree, a seesaw battle. I definitely started to pull away at the end, but for
it's not closer than you think. Like it's literally like I could have just moved. I could have moved Aranthar over. Arzela over and built a house, and then built the additional 2 houses. I chose a strategy, and the game would have ended 8-8 right now.
Right.
But Chip would have won because he has initiative at the end. That's the tiebreaker at the end of the game.
Right.
So it's literally 8-8. That's how ridiculously close we actually are. In fact, I just realized that there was no move I had that I could bring me back down to 7. So there's no reason to continue.
Yeah. So epic game 2-2. The AI was huge in changing the game. I should have just won with 10, but Bob came in and wrecked face. And just, I don't know. I love playing the game. Obviously, I'm a little biased. But I think if you guys back, if you pledge, if you get the game in your hands, you will find out that you too love this game. So in either case, thank you for watching. We will be live again tomorrow playing a 4-player game.
That's right.
We'll have a number of people over here that have, some that have played before, some that have never played before, and it's going to be amazing.
Yep. Awesome. We got a couple more comments going on.
The alternating between hero activation is nice as opposed to some games where someone's turn takes 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, or longer.
Exactly.
Or longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It also allows you to respond to what the other player's doing.
Right.
So you're not just like watching like, oh, I wish I could do something right now, but I can't.
And you get steamrolled. Yeah. No, we want the game to be very interactive, very engaging, and so both players in this game, or all 4 players in a 4-player game, have the opportunity to respond, have the opportunity to stay active. It is very rare that you get out activated. I think there's 1 hero that allows you to reactivate.
Bright Lord.
Yeah.
Matthias Dufresne. He allows you to unactivate an already activated hero,
Which is
it's
massive.
just command ability. It's super expensive though. It's like 6 resources.
Right.
It's like 2 of everything in order to get that to go.
Yeah.
But man, is that a game changer if you lay that down at the right spot.
So that's the other exciting thing. Tomorrow night we'll be streaming all 4 factions.
And Sun Jun, by the way, who's a Cabal character, both of these are characters you didn't see tonight.
Right.
Sun Jun, the vampirist, she also has a very clever ability, which I believe is her level 3 ability, which is Beguile, which means that she can walk up to another character's hero and snag him and activate him as if it was your own hero. And then she gets to finish her move, too. Right. So it's almost like then you get to take 2 activations in a row, which is enormous if used in the right way. Yeah. Doubles down on Sun Jun's command ability, which is she gets a flanking bonus for enemy heroes, too. So you can move the other guy into a flank, and then it's just gross.
Yeah.
But again, I was talking about Cabal earlier and that how they spend that pile of resources. And the real goal, if you want to do well against Cabal, is don't let them level up into those high abilities. Just don't let them do it, because if they do, it's going to be bad.
Yeah. All their abilities are very strong. These snowball hard.
Yes. Yeah. What we got next?
What time are y'all live streaming the 4-player tomorrow? So we'll be streaming the 4-player tomorrow. We're hoping to start around 7:30, but I think if tonight was any indication, it'll probably be 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night. 4-player game. We'll have it'll probably be 3 people you didn't see tonight, 3 just people off the street that we know and love, and one of us playing the 4th player, one of us manning the camera. It should be awesome. We will probably drink more. Probably another night sponsored by Star Hill. But it should be great, and I hope you guys tune in. I hope you guys enjoyed watching tonight. Again, thank you for all your pledges. Thank you for all your support.
Please share our Facebook posts.
Absolutely.
Like us on Board Game Geek. Follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram, and just help us make this game into a reality.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome. We got one more comment. Hold on. Still coming in.
Cheers.
Cheers. Got it. Loving it. Well, we're signing off then. So just so you know who we were, just at the very end here, I'm Neil, and that was Chip. We are the co-founders of Happy Gorilla Game Studio. So this is our brainchild. And I appreciate you watching, and hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow. And if not, we'll definitely see you on the campaign trail after you pledge. You'll be getting all of our updates as we move forward. Thank you very much.